world is riddled with maggots and bureaucrats. They're taking over the boardrooms and they're fat and full of pride. And they all came out of the woodwork on the day the Nazi died. So if you meet with these historians, I'll tell you what to say. Tell them that the Nazis never really went away. They're out there burning houses down and peddling racist lies. And we'll never rest again until every Nazi dies.
Woke up one morning and there were soldiers. Oh, bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. Woke up one morning and there were soldiers. The invasion had begun. Lend me your shoulder, we'll stand together. Oh, bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. Lend me your shoulder, we'll stand together. But I feel my time has come. And if I die here for the resistance, oh, bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. And if I die here for the resistance, you must lay me in my grave among the flowers upon the mountain. Oh, bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. Among the flowers upon the mountain, let me rest among the brave. Someday the people will pick the flowers. Oh, bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. Someday the people will pick the flowers, and they will remember my name. This is the flower of the resistance. Oh, bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. This is the flower of the resistance, and those who died for liberty. This is the flower of the resistance. Oh, bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. This is the flower of the resistance, and those who died for liberty. This is the flower of our resistance, and those who died for liberty.
Come all of you good workers, good news to you I'll tell of how the good old Union has come in here to dwell.
Which side are you on? Which side are you on?
My daddy was a miner and I'm a miner's son, and I'll stick with the Union till every battle.
Hello there, hello there, hello there, everybody. How are we all? I am alive, or something. I don't know. Apologies for my ludicrous lateness. My OBS is being, I think the technical term is, a massive fucking prick. So, yeah. That's just something we're going to have to deal with. Chat. You and I, between the two of us, we're going to have to just plough through. So, yes, we're doing Prime Minister's questions. Although, of course, it's not actually Prime Minister's questions today. We'll get into exactly why in a second. That was Google Meet, not me. Right, Jesus fucking Christ. How many fucking buttons do I have to press? Right. You know the most annoying thing about technology is it literally is just turn it off and on again works. I tried everything I could, everything within my wheelhouse to make it work, and it just wouldn't have it. And so I turned it off and on again, and it worked. Why is that a thing?
Kevin.
Hello.
Question.
Hello there, Helena. How are you? Yes.
I'm doing very well. I have a question though. What do you think is your favourite celebrity Big Brother moment?
I'll be honest with you. I'm not trash, so I don't watch that show.
Oh, we were reminiscing in chat. Oh, to be fair, it was we were only reminiscing because somebody in chat didn't know where the "Would you like me to be the cat" clip originated from.
Oh, that actually, yeah. Thinking about it, that would be it because that's the only bit I remember. Or was it? Or was it the bit where George Galloway was he mocking the suicide attempt of somebody as well at one point? I think. Yeah, he's a lovely guy.
Throbbing.
Yeah, but I don't watch that kind of TV show because, you know.
Well, no, I did in 2006.
True, but I mean, you voted for the Lib Dems 4 years later, so yeah.
That is true. I did. For my secret shame.
Like you were trash. I'm just putting it out there. Just putting it out there. I mean, technically I voted for Tony Blair, so like, yeah, I was also trash, you know.
Like you didn't even like I voted for the Lib Dems because of Tony Blair because Charles Kennedy opposed the Iraq War. You were all in for that shit.
Well, yeah, but I lived, and indeed still do live, albeit in a different one. A Labour Tory marginal. So they both supported Iraq, but it's one side wanted to privatise the NHS and made everything about keeping the pound, which was like a weird racist dog whistle back in the day.
It was.
Yeah. Anyway,
I think I voted the Lib Dems in a Labour Tory swing seat because I'm a fucking idiot.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense, I guess. But I mean,
I didn't even know what seat I was in or what tactical voting was when I was 18, so I can't really. So
that's fair enough. All I'll say is, in 2010 you voted Lib Dem, so I mean, you voted Tory.
It's true. I did vote Tory. That's basically what I did because we got 5 years of Tory policy.
Yeah. Whereas I voted for Tony Blair, so I voted Tory.
It's Tories all the way down.
He literally is. Yeah, the Westminster Party, and there is only one of them.
Oh yeah, exactly. Like they're the same party wins the election every year, and it's the business party.
Yeah. Although I quite like the old anarchist line of "It doesn't matter who you vote for, the government always gets in," which is true.
That is true.
Yeah.
That is true. And the only single time where we had the chance of not that, basically the security state decided to kick into overdrive to ensure that never happened.
Well, yeah, but to be fair, he was Hitler.
That is true. You probably should stop Hitler.
Whereas this time, we've got Jewish Hitler.
It's going to be interesting to see just how far the media can twist it. Just somehow make it out that the nice little gay Jewish man from Salford is somehow Hitler. It's going to be impressive if the media manage to pull it off, honestly.
Mank Hitler is... I mean, there's comedic room within that concept. We need Lebensraum and that, you know. Yeah. there's honestly, someone needs to do something like that. A kind of Liam Gallagher Hitler crossover. Anyway.
I mean, isn't that just Liam Gallagher?
No, he's actually a relatively progressive chap, albeit a mental case. But his politics seem okay. Whereas it's actually his brother, who's a right-wing prick, who's like, yay Brexit, you know, that kind of thing.
And also, everyone expects Liam Gallagher to be the dickhead, and he's just like, whilst he is funny, whilst he's a bit like a funny dickhead, like Noel Gallagher's just a way worse human being.
Oh god,
Liam,
yeah, absolutely, yeah. Whereas Liam Gallagher's just fucking stupid. There's that story that Paul McCartney tells of he was backstage, I think at Glastonbury or something, and he was chatting to Liam Gallagher, and he said, "Oh, should we get some margaritas?" And he went, "No, I've just eaten. I don't fancy a pizza." Incredible. And he completely seriously, and he was just dumbfounded. That's what he thought he meant. Man's a genius. Yes, Manchester, you're not putting your best foot forward there in terms of intelligence. But then again, Birmingham's known for fucking Nuddy Holder, so like, or Ozzy Osbourne.
But Manchester has bears as well.
True, literal bears and metaphorical bears as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway,
I love that we're just that we our pet name for Angela Rayner now is metaphorical Bez.
well, yeah, because obviously to distinguish from actual Bez, she is Bez Mark II Electric Boogaloo. You know?
Well, the thing is, the irony, of course, there is that Bez is an idiot, a funny idiot, but an idiot nonetheless. Whereas Angela Rayner is actually pretty sharp. She's just, a turncoat.
Well, exactly, yeah. But to be fair with Bez, I don't know if he was always an idiot, but his brain is now just fried because of all the drugs.
It's true.
Like he's just mental. Yeah. Anyway, if you don't know what we're talking about, chat, fuck you. That's what we're talking about. Right, so we've got Prime Minister's questions, except it's not Prime Minister's questions, it's Deputy Prime Minister's questions.
Oh, we get to watch Genocide Lammy.
Ooh, because Sir Keith Casey is currently selling the country to China.
Based, fuck it.
Yeah.
One of the precious few things that I mean, what is funny again? He's just trying to piss off everybody. He's trying to piss off all of the lefties by going off to America and sucking up to Trump, and pissing off everybody else by going off to China. Yeah.
It would be hilarious if he comes back and he starts talking about like Comrade Xi and doing fucking Belt and Road stuff. That would be amazing if he was a convert to fucking Xi Jinping thought. that would be
socialism with Keith principles.
Yeah. Dengism, fucking Starmerism. Let's go.
the immortal science of Dengism, Starmerism.
True.
Well, actually, what the irony, of course, like, people say that people in the country broadly would not like us getting close to China. Well, the reality is that as many people in this country that perceive China as an enemy also perceive the United States as an enemy now as well. That's the place that we're at.
I honestly don't see any difference between them, in all honesty. Like, in some respects, in terms of the effect they would have on Britain, I think it'd be pretty much the same thing. But the difference is that China isn't doing its imperialism via murdering loads of people. It's doing it via extracting titanium mine rights by building airports and roads. Like that. Okay, if the choice is between two types of imperialism, one of which means that trade unionists get fucking murdered, and the other one is they build roads and you give them shit. Like, okay, but I'll go with that one, I guess.
And like, whilst they both kind of have internal purges of members of their own societies, at the very least, China believes in climate change.
Well, true, but they are also still opening up coal mines and stuff.
It is interesting how you look at them and they just go like, yeah, we're installing more like photovoltaic capacity in 1 year than America has ever installed ever in human history combined. But we're also going to build loads more coal-fired power stations as well.
Yeah.
Although they say they're on track to go carbon neutral by 2050, I think it is, but we'll see.
Yeah, I will hold my breath on that, and I'll especially hold my breath because the air quality in some Chinese cities is very poor.
It is.
Although it's not great in central London either, so whatever. Yes, okay. Should we do some Deputy Prime Minister's questions?
Go for it.
With the genociders versus the genociders. Yippity doo dah.
At least this time, it's going to be like a game of snooker, because it's going to be the white ball knocking into the black ball. Because they're both bald. That's my joke, chat.
Oh right, and okay. So you're talking about the race of David Lammy being black.
I am indeed, yeah.
That's deeply bigoted.
It's true. It is absolutely that.
So
but also funny.
Navarra media host is massive racist.
Well, sorry, I can't think. I could. I was going to call Andrew Griffith a cue ball because he is a cue ball, and I was just like, I can make an analogy here.
Go on then. Oh, because they're cute. Yeah, okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
We don't come to questions to the Deputy Prime Minister. I'm at least
It's like a slap task, doesn't it?
Well, good.
Look at that! Look at the absolute fucking miserable face that Lammy had on 5 seconds ago.
Well,
That's the kind of face my grandmother pulled when she was asleep.
He deserves to be angry and upset and disgusted. Like, he has to look at himself in the mirror. Imagine that. Imagine the torture that must be, looking at himself thinking, I'm David fucking Lammy. Oh, you know what? I would play Roblox. If I was David Lammy, I would play Roblox. Just saying it.
Question number 1, please, Mr. Speaker.
Deputy Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I've been asked to reply on behalf of the Prime Minister who's visiting China and Japan. Mr. Speaker, yesterday was Holocaust Memorial Day, and for the first time, a Holocaust survivor, Marla Trivich, addressed Cabinet. I found her testimony profoundly moving, especially having recently visited the Majdanek concentration camp in Poland. We owe it to every survivor and to the 6 million Jewish people murdered in the Holocaust.
Like, okay, I know where he's going with this, but I get it. I don't want to make this sort of political. It is political. Of course, it's fucking political. Alf Dobbs in the House of Lords is a Holocaust survivor. Okay, his family escaped when he was a child. He came over in the Kinder transport, the transport of German, but not just German, but European children of Jewish origin to save them from being slaughtered by the Nazis. Most of his family were killed. He became a Labour MP and all the rest of it, and is now a Labour member of the House of Lords. He put down the Dobbs Amendment to try and allow largely Syrian, but people basically from around the world, to have the same prospects he did. And the Labour Party, including David Lammy, voted against that. So when you talk about Cabinet listening to a Holocaust survivor, how about you listen to one of them in your own fucking party, mate?
True. Very true. Never forget. We will build a national Holocaust Memorial and Learning Centre next to this Parliament.
Oh, so we'll do the nice thing where we just build it. It's a fun. It's just a little. We'll build a museum and not change anything fundamentally or learn any of the lessons of the Holocaust. Yay!
Also, it is interesting. But I don't know if you saw this, Kevin, but did you see the Holocaust Memorial Society? Or the Holocaust Educational Trust, sorry, in the UK, tweeting out, "How dare anyone talk about the Holocaust victims that weren't Jewish today?" And I was like,
I did. It's more nuanced, I think, than some people believe or some people understand. They worded it very, very poorly, I think. But I think what they were referring to was a thing called de-Judification, which is a concept. It's a kind of, if you imagine a Holocaust as a kind of a wedge, right? It's that thin end of the wedge. It's the softer form of Holocaust denial that people engage in order to try and chip away at the seriousness of it. So you take away the fact that the majority of the victims were Jewish in order to try and destigmatize it as an ethnic attack, right? And that's definitely a thing that people have engaged in.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like, very few people do absolutist Holocaust denial anymore because the mountains of evidence are just too obvious, right? So you try and chip away at the seriousness of it by questioning certain elements of it, or saying maybe the numbers aren't quite right, or, you know, you take away the fact that certain groups were attacked for being that group. Or you say, well, they weren't murdered, they died of disease, as if that's a thing that isn't also to blame when you've got people in fucking prisons. Anyway, regardless of that. So they do de-Judification, right? So I understand where they're coming from in that respect. But is it not also pretty disgusting, and indeed Holocaust denial, to say that the 5 million-ish other non-Jewish people who were slaughtered in the Holocaust shouldn't also be mentioned?
Well, it literally took decades to recognise what happened to Roma and Sinti people as a Holocaust, as Holocaust, or indeed as genocide. Like,
yeah. Which is mad, because literally the Nazis came up with a classification system. Literally, the Jewish yellow star was one of dozens of classifications, where if you were a part of this group or that group or the other group, you'd have to wear a different colour and shape on yourself constantly in order to signify why you were there. Roma people were a part of that. So the fact that people didn't recognise that for a long time is ridiculous. The Nazis already fucking told us why these people were there. You know? Anyway.
Well, exactly. Like plenty of, like, racial groups such as Slavs were executed in huge numbers. Like, Auschwitz as a camp was originally requisitioned by the Nazis to use for Slavs specifically, right?
Well, it literally was used as a prisoner of war camp for Polish and Soviet prisoners of war. Yeah, those were the first people killed at Auschwitz. Again, Slavs were attacked. Obviously, homosexual people, albeit they didn't classify people as bisexual or trans, whatever. They were all just gay. So that was
degenerates.
Yeah, pink triangle was for the homosexuals. Different political groupings. There was the communists / socialists were all plugged in a thing, so you'd have to wear red. That sort of thing. Yeah. So yeah, I understand the concept of centering Jewishness as a part of this, because some people try and decenter Jewishness in order to take away the racist element from the Holocaust and therefore make it less bad, because they want to do it. Because they want to do it again because they're Nazis, right?
Yeah. And like, it takes away from it, makes it sound like it's just a generic mass slaughter, right? When it just obviously wasn't. It was specifically targeted specific groups, of which Jewish people were the largest group and the main target, and the mainly propagandized target to the German citizenry. Like, we are doing it to this group and some other groups as well, but it's mostly about this group. But to just say, how dare you mention anyone who isn't Jewish? I'm just like, that's bad, actually. That's bad when you look at the fact that there were millions and millions of other people targeted specifically for extermination based upon a characteristic and seen as being in the degenerate part of society.
And it didn't start with Jewish people either. Disabled people on the Action T4 program were the first people who were killed. And interestingly, a thing that never gets mentioned is that a part of that disability was considered the mental illness of being a sex worker. Literally, sex workers were gassed to death in vans alongside disabled people. Those were the first people that were targeted. And then if we talk about politics, communists and socialists were targeted before Jewish people. For murder, it has to be said, in terms of the racial laws, that existed from virtually day one of the Nazis' regime. But in terms of murder, they were killing trade unionists long before they started killing Jewish people in any kind of significant numbers. Anyway, it's complicated, is the way I would.
Yeah, it is. But I mean, like, again, those statements can make sense in some situations where people are decentering Jewish people from it. But just saying, and also these other groups too, and them getting mad at it is crazy talk.
Yeah.
So that the voices of survivors are never forgotten and their courage inspires future generations.
Okay, how about listening to Holocaust survivors who say that Israel's committing genocide? No? Is that the wrong kind of Holocaust survivor for you?
Mr. Speaker, I know the thoughts of the whole House will also be with the family and loved ones of Captain Philip Gilbert Maldoni of the 4th Regiment Royal Artillery, who died on Sunday. We will never forget the courage, bravery and sacrifice made for our country by British servicemen and women. This morning I had meetings with ministerial colleagues and others. In addition to my duties in this House, I shall have further such meetings later today.
Dismissal.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I'd like to...
Also, that clearly is just a thing they always say, because there's no way he had intergovernmental departmental meetings. He's just there to do Prime Minister's questions. He's not literally the Prime Minister.
No, exactly. I mean, he's deputy prime. I mean, he's Justice Secretary. So, how is he Home Secretary? He's Justice Secretary. No, that's Shabana Mahmood. Sorry,
he's Justice Secretary. Yeah.
He always has lots of meetings with people trying to defend. No, actually, it is good to take away the jury trials.
Yeah.
No, it isn't.
Yeah, true.
To associate myself with the remarks of the Deputy Prime Minister on Holocaust Memorial Day and British servicemen. This week, the BBC and Good Morning Britain have reported of the national disgrace of...
Why are they wearing the British? Oh, sorry, that's the Holocaust Memorial Day.
Yeah,
it looks like the British. It looks like the British gas logo.
It does look like the British gas logo because they're both flames. Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, that is the Holocaust memorial symbol. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it does. Now you've mentioned it, it looks both. It looks a little bit like the British gas symbol, and also a little bit like the centre of the club crest of Shakhtar Donetsk, the Ukrainian football team. There you go.
Out of control waste dumps, and for years my constituents in Kirby have lived with one. People struggle to breathe, they're sick, they have to live with their windows shut, and schools sometimes shut down for days. I've been campaigning on it with our Labour councillors, but the response from the Environment Agency has been slow and ineffective. So will the government work with me to sort this nightmare and stop the Simmonswood stink?
Deputy Prime Minister.
I thank my honourable friend. The government will work with her. The situation she describes is unacceptable. People are right to be furious. The Environment Agency are taking action to prevent further...
His hair looks like an overly used tennis ball. Do you know when it's starting to bold? It's that kind of fluffiness to it, you know?
The dumping, and we're giving them more powers and resources to crack down on fly tipping. I'll make sure that ministers keep her updated of their efforts. And speaking of garbage, Mr. Speaker, I note Reform's spring cleaning of the party opposite is continuing this week. The leader of the opposition says the Conservative Party is full of unwanted rubbish.
Well, did you see, even in trying to badmouth Suella Braverman joining Reform, she managed to fuck that up as well by, like, attacking her for her mental health? Like, she had to come out and apologise. Yeah, she said, I forget the exact wording, you can look it up, but it was something like, we tried to make sure that Suella was happy, but she was clearly unhappy, or her state of mind was clearly disturbed or something. Like, she was attacking her for being mentally ill or something. I'm like, you are really shit at this. This is, but you're a politician. What? Anyway, she's a fucking lunatic.
The public worked that out long ago and got rid of them, Mr. Speaker.
Shadow Secretary of State, Andrew Griffiths.
I'll say it for you, chat. Who? Who the fuck is this lad?
He's a proper twat.
Of
He's
course
a
he
real
is.
twat. Yeah.
He's still in the Tory party, of course he is. He's a proper bellend, yeah.
So true.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Can I start by echoing the Deputy Prime Minister's comment?
He looks like someone trying to cosplay as Ian Duncan Smith.
I mean, isn't every single, like, Tory MP at this point all just cosplays of Ian Duncan Smith?
Basically, yes. Yeah.
About Holocaust Memorial Day. We must never forget.
Did he call it Holocaust?
I think he might have. We'll skip back a second.
Comments about Holocaust Memorial Day.
Holocaust. Holocaust. Okay. Interesting.
I mean, maybe pronounce it correctly.
Yeah, is it Holocaust? Is it Holocaust denial to mispronounce the word that badly?
Just like, yeah, maybe pronounce the word correctly. It's quite important.
Anyway, Hilly Crest Memorial Day. I can't wait.
We must never forget.
How to pronounce the word? Yes, that's the truth.
Oh, Doc Glover says he looks like a pound shop Greg Wallace.
He does, and being a Tory backbencher, he is also probably a sex pest. Yeah. Actually, he's not a backbencher, he's a frontbencher, so he's definitely a sex pest. Yeah.
I also associate this side of the House with the condolences expressed by the Deputy Prime Minister to the family of Captain Philip Gilbert Muldowney.
How did he die? What brown people was he attacking when he died? Do we know?
I don't know.
So, offer the condolences of the House to the family of Lord Flight, one of my predecessors.
He looks like Penfold. Oh my God, he does. Oh, that's disgraceful. Yeah. Is that you Googling what the fuck Penfold is?
Yes.
Of course, you young prick. You disgust me.
He does look like Penfold. He literally is halfway between Penfold and Greg Wallace.
Pen Wallace, let's go.
In Arundel and South Downs, he served in Parliament with distinction for more than 2 decades. Mr. Speaker, after the Chancellor's U-turn yesterday, can the Deputy Prime Minister confirm that over 90% of retail, hospitality and leisure businesses will get nothing?
Deputy Prime Minister.
Hang on, what did she U-turn on? Did I miss this?
Oh, pubs having to see an increase in business rates.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Basically, they basically by increase in business rates. Actually, the level of business rates has not changed. During the pandemic, there was a discount for business rates for hospitality sectors, which was being sunlit by the government, right?
Yeah.
That was the reality. Was they were gonna terminate that reduction, that holiday essentially, and everyone was like, "How dare you increase taxes on pubs?" I'm like, no. What's actually happened is that they had a tax cut that was temporary that is now ending.
Yeah,
that's not the same as increasing the rate.
Yeah, exactly. It's going back to what normal was.
Yeah.
They're no longer going to get preferential treatment. Okay, cool.
Speaker, can I welcome the Shadow Business Secretary to the dispatch box and join him? I remember Lord Flight well when I arrived in this House. It's always a pleasure to hear from the co-author of the mini-budget. And the man...
Okay, that's pretty good. That's a nice little jab. That's fine.
Well, it just shows you that none of them have learned, right? It just shows you
Yeah.
that none of these people have learned from what actually happened, you know? That's what's so funny about it.
Yeah.
Is that they still believe that they lost the election because of Conservative Party infighting. They still think that they lost the election because they looked like they weren't proper governance, rather than the fact that they fucked up people's mortgages.
Yeah.
And that they fucked up people's pensions, that there was the biggest drop in living standards since the Napoleonic Wars, right? But for some reason, they think that they can't understand that. It's almost like they're completely detached from reality. So we'll keep the architecture of their failed economic policies in their business and trade secretary role.
Yeah, basically. Yeah. Whereas, of course, they've just the Labour Party have just lost the Gorton and Denton by-election before it's even been announced what date it's happening because of infighting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Although, interestingly, did you see that 40p Lee was campaigning in the wrong seat?
Yeah, he was campaigning in Ashton-under-Lyne, which was quite funny. Although, to be fair, at the Green Party's campaign launch event, they spelled Gorton wrong.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough.
It's been a great result for everybody.
Yeah, everyone looks a bit shit, which, you know.
And the man who said that Liz Truss has the best plan to deliver for voters. Remember that?
She did. She killed the Queen. Yeah. It was fucking awesome.
True.
Salutes for Comrade Truss in chat, please, people. Let's go.
Of course, all of us want to see our pubs in good health and to support hospitality. That's why the Chancellor announced a £4 billion package of support. But yesterday, in addition, business rates for pubs and music venues will be cut by 15% this year and frozen for the next 2 years, and will review the methodology for valuing pubs in the future. I must say that contrasts with the party opposite, who of course saw 7,000 pubs closed under their watch.
Mr. Speaker, he wants to talk about experience. I spent 25 years building businesses, creating jobs. He spent 25 years...
There's one thing we've not done.
School check!
Got to do a school check.
True.
Right, so he grew up in Bromley, went to St Mary and Joseph School, State Comprehensive and Sidcup. Before going to the University of Nottingham. He's a chartered accountant.
Oh, he looks like a chartered accountant. Oh, he does.
He does look like a chartered accountant. He literally first worked for the Rothschild Company, and then PricewaterhouseCoopers. Then was a financial analyst for Sky, before becoming their CFO in 2008.
Really? Wow. Okay, that's. I mean, it's an interesting path. Okay.
And then was COO of Sky Group in 2016.
So he's a little Murdoch bitch.
Yeah, and I don't know whether that was before Sky Broadcasting was sold to Comcast or not.
Look, if you're in that position, you're Murdoch's little bitch.
He also set up an academy in...
So he's a cunt. Okay, cool. Brilliant.
Oh no, it was before the acquisition of Comcast by Sky. Although when Comcast acquired Sky, Griffith earned £17 million from the sale of the shares that he had.
Why?
He's insanely rich.
Yeah. Okay, so he's a prick.
He's on the board of directors of Just Eat.
So
he's a fellow of the Royal Television Society. He's not built any businesses. He's been an employee, an incredibly high up and very rich employee. But what?
Yeah. Is he claiming he built Sky? I don't think so.
It's manufacturing grievance. And if the party opposite knew anything about business, they would know this is too little too late. Our high streets, their high streets are bleeding out, and the Chancellor's handing out...
Yeah.
They don't want to hear this, Deputy Speaker. Our high streets are bleeding out, and the Chancellor's handing out a box of sticking plasters. They can't even U-turn properly. Mr. Deputy Speaker.
Are you going to ask a fucking question, you prick? It's not monologue hour. It's Prime Minister's questions, not you fucking flexing on Parliament. Like, come on now. There's at least a dozen Labour MPs with Morgan McSweeney questions they need to pretend to have written. Come on now.
Senior advisor, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, a senior advisor to Andy Burnham said yesterday the Chancellor just wants a cheap headline. Meanwhile, our high streets are being decimated. He's right, isn't he?
Lovely Prime Minister.
I've got to say...
I mean, pause. I mean, the advisor to Andy Burnham is right. She does just want a good headline, rather than to actually pass, like, fair policy. Yeah. By saying, well, we're sunlighting this tax break that was only supposed to be temporary. Get used to it, right? Like, this was we are returning to normality. There is now, we're out of the kind of the biggest part of the pandemic period. We don't need to encourage more people into pubs now. We probably do, but we could probably do that by cutting the rent that they pay to gigantic fucking corporate landlords, rather than having to give them essentially a tax break that other hospitality businesses are now not going to get. Yeah. There's only pubs that are going to get this cut, not all, hotels and shit. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Someone asked, is David Lammy the actual Deputy Prime Minister, or just acting in that capacity?
He is Deputy Prime Minister. Yeah.
He is, but so what's happened with Lucy Powell? And she's just the Deputy Leader of the Labour Party, and they've gone, well, yeah, but you're not Deputy Prime Minister. Nah.
Yeah, isn't she? Oh, yeah, she used to be the Chancellor Duchy of Lancaster, was it?
Oh right, yeah. Which is
But then she got removed from the cabinet because she called Tim Montgomery a dog whistler on any questions.
Which he is.
Yes, he is.
Yeah.
Speaker, he talks
about
business.
Yeah.
We know what his plan for business is. This is the man who opposed the minimum wage and said it was, quote, simply something that legislators pass to make themselves feel good. Well, let me tell him, raising the minimum wage doesn't make us feel good. It changes lives. And Labour's proud of how we're supporting small business. And on small business, creating hospitality zones to cut red tape, greater licensing freedoms, very important, and tackling late payments. All of that supporting business. That's a heart cry to what small business saw before.
Mr. Speaker, you don't make young people better off by putting them out of work. Mr. Speaker, his MPs are already banned from pubs. Where next? Shops? Restaurants?
I thought you were against cancel culture. What happened there? All of a sudden, no, it's good. No, it's good, actually, to deny people service based on political belief. Because I don't think that's an argument that Tories are going to do very well with. Just saying.
No. Yeah, like anyone with a mortgage.
Yeah.
Hair salons, that may not make a difference to him or I, but for many of them, they should back our plan to scrap business rates. But they haven't got the backbone to cut welfare.
Why didn't you do that for the 14 years you had?
That's the biggest problem.
Could have done that at any point. At any point, you never once even suggested it.
Literally so true.
It's almost like now you're in opposition, you can pretend to be like vaguely decent people sometimes.
To pay for it. And it's not just business rates, Mr. Speaker. Under them, the cost of hiring is up. So could he tell the House how much more does it cost to hire a 21-year-old under Labour?
Deputy Prime Minister.
More. Good. I'm glad that it's more. Yes, well done.
I'm just glad that the Tories are asking about how much it costs to hire an adult, because they're usually trying to hire children.
True. Although it is, again, the point here is, how much extra is it to hire a 21-year-old? What he's essentially saying is, why are you allowing 21-year-olds to earn the amount that they need to be able to live, rather than being paid poverty wages?
Yeah,
that's
pretty
his
much.
Point.
Pretty much, yeah. Don't forget, if you want to pay us poverty wages, you can do so in the form of bits and subs and memberships and super chats and all of that jazz.
I just did my taxes yesterday, and I've realised I'm actually not being paid poverty wages anymore. Get in.
Nice. Yeah, but that's because you've got that Navarra dark money flowing in.
That's true. I getting paid by the Rosa Luxemburg Foundation. Let's fucking go. They only got one donation.
High on drugs, soft on Putin.
He talks about young people. The party opposite left a shameful legacy. 1 in 8 young people not earning or learning when they left office. We're investing a record.
Thank you, Wayward, with the bitty bits and poverty wages. Much love.
Record amount in apprenticeships, which they had on its knees. We're creating talented excellence technical colleges for our young people, and Alan Billwood is doing a review on young people who are currently out of...
Oh, Alan Millwood's doing it. Oh, well, that doesn't mean fucking anything then.
Did he say Alan Billman? I'm like, wrong way around. It's a bit of a spoonerism there. It's quite funny. Did he say that?
I'm not
sure. Let's go back.
Let's go back. It's very much a Holocaust situation.
And Alan Billwood is doing a review.
Alan Billwood? Alan Billwood. Okay. I don't know who he is, but whoever he is, he's doing a review. Cool. Or maybe it's two people. It's Alan and Bill Wood. The Wood brothers, you know.
On young people who are currently out of work. By contrast, they would freeze the minimum wage, oppose giving young people an increase. They've got nothing to say for the next generation.
Mr. Speaker, you can feel the Deputy Prime Minister's frustration. The Prime Minister's away, the business sector is away, and here he is, left behind Lammy, the designated survivor, having to defend the indefensible. And it's very clear, he doesn't know...
Pause. It's really quite funny how he's getting all outraged and he's getting all pent up about a very small change to business rates. Like, it's an absolute disgrace. The fact that business rates have increased slightly.
But this is the party that have been frothing at the mouth about the Chagos Islands for the last 6 fucking months. Like,
police.
Yeah, by comparison, a minor change in tax in fucking business rates or something is like a substantial issue for them. Well done.
Please tell me he asked a Chagos question. Oh my god, imagine.
I don't know. I presume if he doesn't want Kemi to sack him, he must ask a Chagos question. Surely.
True.
He doesn't know the answer, Mr. Speaker, so let me tell him. The cost will be up £3,600 a year under Labour.
Oh no, they're paying young people enough to live on. Disgusting! Burn them!
Not only are they paying young people enough to live on, they're putting extra funding into our beleaguered public services. How dare they?
Disgusting.
Businesses can't afford to hire. 1 in 6 young people can't find a job. This government is blocking people who just want to get on in life. People, Mr. Speaker, ambitious people like Andy from Manchester, having his dreams crushed by Labour. So could the Deputy Prime Minister...
He's not even technically from Manchester. He's from Liverpool originally.
The thing is, well, is that saying things such as, well, it means that there are fewer vacancies. And like, maybe vacancies are going down, but we've just come out of a hot economy post-pandemic, right? Like, we're on the other end of the business cycle. And yeah, that will happen. This isn't necessarily a response to government policy. It's just the natural way the business cycle functions. And second of all, if they're putting extra money into public services because of increases in taxes, that will increase hiring in the public sector and therefore mean that there are still jobs available. Like, unemployment is still below 5%, which is like where you would expect unemployment to be in like a good economy, you know?
Yeah.
Minister explain why unemployment has gone up almost every month they've been in office.
I'm replying to this.
Check his fact. 500,000 people in work more than a year ago under us. The Shadow Business Secretary is in no position to lecture anyone about U-turns, by the way. This man was Boris Johnson's net zero business champion. Now he opposes the renewable investment, creating jobs and opportunities right across the country.
Andrew Griffiths.
Mr. Speaker, the thing he didn't want to say is that every Labour government leaves office with unemployment higher than when they arrived. And there's a reason for that. They don't understand what it takes to be an employer. They don't understand business. They're strangling business with their red tape, and they're about to make things infinitely worse. So will he tell us...
Pause. I hate to be a bit Lib Dem, but it seems really hypocritical to talk about red tape when you are literally one of the kind of architects of the Conservative Party supporting leaving the European Union, which has created inordinate amounts of red tape for businesses.
True.
Right?
Also, he was in the cabinet of Boris Johnson, who literally said, fuck business.
It's so true. Literally. It's incredible. I mean, one of the first based things that Boris Johnson ever said.
True. Honestly. Between that and Liz Truss killing the Queen, there's the occasional Tory, like, every stopped clock is right twice a day, you know?
Well, it's like someone in the TikTok comments was asking why I preferred Boris Johnson to Tony Blair in some respects. And I was like, well, we've got a record NHS funding and uprated benefits with inflation, and we got the bringing down of the net zero targets, increase visas for foreign students to go and help universities. We got what was the other thing? Was the uprated benefits in line with inflation?
But Tony Blair didn't get ambushed by cake. So
true. I mean, to be fair, there are plenty of good things that the Blair government did. It's just kind of gets overshadowed by the PFIs and gets overshadowed by all the corruption, gets overshadowed by the Iraq War, etc., etc.
He did do a cheeky bit of genocide, which is a fly in the ointment, certainly.
And you know, like,
his government.
Nope.
And the original question that was being asked in the TikTok comments is, who would you want to bring back now as a prime minister to replace Keir Starmer? I'm just like, well, even if Tony Blair did some all right things at the time, right? Like, at the moment, he's just he's just comically evil.
Yeah, no, absolutely. He's too evil to be on the board of peace. Evil.
Literally, like, he's significantly more evil right now than Boris Johnson is, which is, quite something.
Yeah.
Own estimate of the cost to business of the Unemployment Act.
Deputy Prime Minister.
I'm going to take no lectures from you on business. My father was run out of business under the Thatcher government. I know what it's like to grow up under a Tory government. And whilst we're talking about it, 26 Tory MPs and counting have already defected to reform, and now they're all counting down, Mr. Speaker, because today is 100 days until the Tory transfer window slams shut. It's going to be the longest and most disloyal transfer saga since Sol Campbell left Spurs.
Well, pop culture reference.
Also, that wasn't a particularly long saga. He just sort of turned up and went, "Oh, I'm signing for Arsenal." So it doesn't even quite work, really. It was very, very disloyal, but it wasn't a very long-running affair, to be fair. But
I mean, it's true, but it is quite funny that there was a transfer deadline window for the reform.
there
UK
literally
party.
is, yeah. For those who don't know, Zia Yusuf announced that as of one of the days in May, whatever.
Oh, the day of the local elections.
Yeah. Then after that, Tory members won't be able to join the Reform Party or whatever. Or was it Tory elected officials? I'm not sure.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Either way, I mean, it makes a lot of sense. You know, they're getting beaten up in kind of rhetorically over the fact that they're all ex-Tories, which kind of undermines your position as an insurgent populist.
Yeah, you can't
threat to the Uniparty.
You can't sell yourself as an outsider when you're hugging Suella Braverman and James Cleverly.
The fucking Boris Johnson cabinet.
Well, the Rishi Sunak cabinet, the one that lost in the most historic way that any Tory has ever lost. Yeah, that part. Yeah, that thing. Yeah, like, why have you welcomed those people into the fucking into the cabinet? That's ridiculous. Into your party. It's ridiculousness. Not into your party. That's a different... Anyway.
No.
And the member for Clacton, I don't know where he is, has signed 3 white ringers.
Well, definitely not Clacton, ironically.
In the past fortnight.
Andrew Griffiths.
Oh, by the way, we've got Jenny. The Right Honourable Jenny has been spotted there.
Hey.
Salutes in chat. The only respectable mammal in that room.
Thank you. I don't know what's in his head, Mr. Speaker. It's our party that is getting stronger, and overnight.
I mean, just literally numerically, that's not true. In terms of your membership, both in the Parliamentary Conservative Party and the nationwide Conservative Party, you're getting weaker every fucking day. These are the adults in the room, everyone. Just screaming. Just literally screaming.
Sensible, grown-up politics.
Yeah, I'm so glad the student politics didn't win.
Well, overnight, Mr. Speaker, we learned that the former Deputy Prime Minister has got 80 names. On Sunday, we learned that the Health Secretary's allies claimed that he's got 200 names, and oddly, 50 of them want the Mayor of Greater Manchester, who's not even in this MP. Mr. Speaker, they're supposed to be running the country, and once again, small businesses across this country will see that he didn't answer the question. So I'll tell him, £1 billion a year. That is the burden to businesses of their bill. So there we have it, Mr. Speaker. They've no answers for small business. There's no relief coming. They don't care about high streets.
Yeah, quite. How many names does Grant Shapps have? Excellent point, chat. Love it.
But it's funny for them to go, oh, they don't care about the high street. Yeah, the high street that's in a really bad state because of who? Andrew?
They don't care about hotels, restaurants, farmers, or young people. Won't the Deputy Prime Minister admit what the members behind him are thinking? That it's not the Prime Minister going to China that's the problem, it's the fear that he might come back.
Deputy Prime Minister.
The British political class are fucking losers. This is the best. Like, okay, technically I suppose it's the second best, whatever. But this is the best we can churn up with these fucking flimsy nobodies.
It is also funny that he goes, well, the Labour Party, they're terrible for young people. I'm just like, do you want to just have a look, Andrew, at, say, for example, your welfare decisions over the past 14 years, for example? Would you like to kind of demonstrate just how much of that went to pensioners and how much of that went to working age people?
Yeah.
Do you like to revise your statement on who is and or does things in the interest of the youth? The answer, of course, is nobody.
Yeah.
Neither of them do, but still.
Yeah.
Speaker, he's not going to get this gig again, is he? Let's face it. Mr. Speaker, I've set out our position very clearly. This was the week when the leader of the opposition told Desert Islanders that Britain needs to learn to queue again. And Tory MPs have taken her quite literally. They're lining up outside the member for Clacton's office while they squabble about the damage that they did to our country. Labour this week...
When you said they need to learn to queue, did you mean QAnon? I wouldn't surprise me.
...is capping ground rents, cutting the cost of living and rebuilding our public services. That's the difference a Labour government makes.
Why are you fucking despised then?
Yeah, every time they just try and talk about how everyone is kind of supportive of what they're doing, and I'm like, well, that doesn't comport with your approval ratings.
Yeah, like if you held an election today, you basically wouldn't exist. So,
like some seats have them on some polls have them on 10 seats.
Yeah, ridiculous. I mean, a seat that they've held since the 30s, they're now going to lose to either Reform or the Green Party.
They lost fucking Caerphilly.
Mad.
Which they'd had for
true.
donkey's years.
True. Honestly, to the people of Wales, Scotland, well, Northern Ireland is a separate thing, it's a foreign land being occupied. But in terms of Wales and Scotland, you need to get the fuck away from Westminster. Honest to God, just go your own fucking way, lads. This is ridiculous. Have you seen these absolute wankers? Jesus Christ.
The devolved election is going to be so good.
Plaid Cymru sweeping it is going to be hilarious. Because, like, the SNP have sort of got it sewn up now because the other parties are so bad. Whereas the Plaid Cymru kind of didn't have that much, sort of, in terms of the number of seats in the Senate. They've been pretty small for quite a while. And so if they actually are able to form a government and get the First Minister position, that would be wild.
Yeah, I mean, it would be an incredible feat in terms of the history of Wales. That has literally never, ever not been governed by Labour in the post-war period. It's just had decades and decades and decades of consistent Labour rule.
Even in years where it's been atrocious for Labour, like 1983 or whatever, right? Wales has always been rock solid. Especially that kind of band of southern Welsh urban cities, the kind of, Cardiff, Swansea, Llanelli kind of areas. They've been absolutely rock solid. And they're going to lose most, if not all of them. Which is fucking madness. Like, the Labour Party exists basically because of the people of South Wales. And they're going to get wiped out there. Like, your party is over.
True. And on top of that, it's not just... I mean, of course, again, I can't really comment that I'm not really from Wales. I've not really spent much time there, but I mean, as well as the humiliation it will show Labour, which will be very funny, it's also going to be really important. It's going to show the Welsh people what it's like to be governed by people who are uniquely concerned with their area, and of course, who have genuinely progressive views. Yeah. It's going to really stick a nail in the coffin of the idea that it's Labour versus the right wing, even though Labour are right wing, and actually, people. Well, like, progressivism isn't just like persona non grata. People do want progressivism.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, the SNP have shown that in Scotland. The people of Scotland have been given far more right-wing governments in Westminster than they've ever voted for. They've been given Brexit they didn't vote for. They're being dragged along with right-wing England. But it's fascinating with the
right-wing England.
Right-wing England, indeed. It'd be interesting to see what happens in terms of the popularity of Welsh independence, because even it's still my favourite stat. I think it was 2010. Most people who voted for Plaid Cymru in that election didn't actually support Welsh independence. They just wanted a party to the left of Labour, right? But obviously Welsh independence has been growing as a thing, but it's still a minority position, and it'd be interesting to see if a Plaid Cymru government, if it does well, the confidence of the people of Wales might be like, well, maybe we can run our own shit. Yeah, maybe that would be a good thing. It'd be interesting to see. But if they fuck it up, it could ruin it for a generation. Who knows?
Yeah, like the support. Well, what's interesting is that actually support for Scottish independence preceded the Scottish National Party's landslide in 2015. Which
yeah, absolutely.
Quite different kind of corollary.
Yeah.
And there's much more to come.
Mr. Speaker, Elmore Hall School is a fantastic multi-site provision supporting over 200 of County Durham's vulnerable young people with social, emotional and mental health difficulties. Their PAC site in Durham caters for 20 key stage 4 pupils, but SAN provision in Durham is at crisis point. With an extra school site and PAC extension, Elmore could offer more young people opportunities to thrive locally, saving thousands in costs for alternative provision and taxis. Will the Deputy Prime Minister arrange for the DFE Minister to visit the PAC site, and will they work with me to support the urgent need for additional school facilities and PAC...
Okay, this is the Frankie Boyle... Will the Prime Minister listen to me whine about something boring that no one cares about from my constituency? Well, that's come on now. Like, it's a perfectly salient thing for your constituency, but no one else gives a fuck.
That's it. It's performatively done as well.
Yeah.
Because of course these questions get asked in the background normally, right? But I would like my constituency to see that I am doing something on the telly, so they know that I'm not just dicking around in Westminster.
Yeah, because this makes the local paper. Yeah.
Yeah.
Accommodation.
Remember local papers?
So young people...
Well, local papers still exist, and a lot of older people still read them, and a lot of older people still vote,
And Durham can access the education they deserve closer to home.
Deputy Prime Minister.
Well, I'm very grateful to my honourable friend. We're focused on fixing the SEN system so every child, wherever they live, has the support that they need to thrive. And we will continue our national conversation on reforms. We're also boosting investment into SEN. That includes 200 million to roll out more training for teachers and over 100 million for Durham County Council. I'm sure a minister would be happy to meet with my honourable friend and visit the site at the earliest opportunity.
Deputy Leader of the Liberal Democrats, Daisy Cooper.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. On behalf of my party, may I join
With their very nice brogues. Yeah, I'm here for it.
with the Deputy Prime Minister in marking Holocaust Memorial Day, we will not forget, and also honouring the service of Captain Philip Gilbert Muldowney, who died on Sunday. Mr. Speaker, whilst the Chinese regime still holds British citizen Jimmy Lai captive in prison, and whilst the Chinese regime continues to hunt down pro-democracy protesters on the streets of Britain with bounties on their heads, the British Prime Minister has gone cap in hand to China to ask for a trade deal on the promise of a super embassy from which the Chinese regime will continue to spy on us.
Come on, fair. If they want to spy on us, they don't need a fucking super embassy to do it.
Also, and again, I don't want to make it just like, oh, what about Israel? But like, Israel spies on us all the time. America spies on us all the time. I've never heard you once criticise either of those things. Even though we know it happens.
And on top of this, like, if we really want to look at an important kind of pro-democracy movement at the moment, can we discuss Kurdistan, please? Can we discuss the fact that our supposed NATO ally in Turkey is helping the member of Al-Qaeda that David Lammy is shaking hands with in invading Kurdistan right now?
No, but the Kurds were our friends yesterday, but we don't want to play with them anymore. Basically.
Chinese regime remains undeterred in its illegal actions against the UK and our citizens. So can I ask the Deputy Prime Minister to name one single consequence that the Chinese regime will face if they do not stop their campaign of espionage and repression?
Deputy Prime Minister.
They will do absolutely nothing because China has us by the bollocks. They're too big an economy for us to fuck with. We're not a superpower anymore. Welcome to the new world.
Well, Mr. Speaker, China matters, and ignoring them would be a dereliction of duty. We will build a consistent, long-term and strategic approach grounded in reality. I set that out in the China audit statement I made a few months ago. And that is what our allies do. President Trump, Macron, Chancellor Merz, Prime Minister Carney, all are visiting and engaging. We'll cooperate where we can, and I'm sure in areas like climate, she would expect us to cooperate, and we will challenge in areas where we disagree. That's the way that we deliver for the public of this country.
Daisy Cooper.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I note the Deputy Prime Minister could not name one single consequence if the Chinese do not stop their espionage and repression. Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, the Deputy Prime Minister has responded as if the world has not changed. With Russia waging war in Europe, with the Chinese hunting protesters and pro-democracy protesters on our streets, and with President Trump undermining NATO and the rules-based order which keeps us safe, we have got to act with urgency to strengthen our alliances with trusted allies in Europe and the Commonwealth, and we have got to ramp up defence spending now. Can I ask the Deputy Prime Minister, will he consider as a first step the...
Does anyone want to tell us? Can anyone in chat guess who was in government when we cut the defence spending?
The Tories and someone else.
Yeah, I don't know.
It could be anyone.
It could possibly be. They didn't have a majority in 2010. They must have gone into coalition with somebody. I wonder who.
Liberal Democrat plan to issue defence bonds to raise £20 billion.
Oh, they're defence bonds. They're not war bonds anymore. They're just defence bonds. So basically, they're just bonds. It's the government borrowing money to spend on military stuff, which is what they do anyway. It's not. It's nothing. That isn't a policy. It's the same fucking thing.
In the next 2 years.
It's like me saying, well, I've got a policy of breathing in oxygen and breathing out carbon dioxide. Revolutionary! No, it's just what happens.
Breath bonds.
Breath bonds.
Order that we can rebuild and rebuild our armed forces and give British savers the opportunity to invest in the defence of our...
Why are they all wearing vulvas? Oh, come on, chat. That's not... No. It's Holocaust Memorial Day, okay?
Nation.
The Prime Minister.
I've got to say, I've been here long enough to remember when Labour left office 2.5...
And now I can't unsee it. You've ruined it, chat.
...Assembly was spending on defence, and when they were in government with them, they cut it.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Does the Deputy Prime Minister agree with me that the good work of this Labour government to get the NHS back on its...
Morgan McSweeney!
Let's put this on some super chat. Thank you, Jack, for the $4.99. Speaking of Lucy Powell, she did the only Labour can beat reform shite today. Yeah, had you not blocked the one of sort of decent guy of the left? I mean, that's basically true. And it is funny, they're doing the carefully bar chart memes now.
Yeah.
So it's over.
Labour already know, internally, they've already said they're going to lose. Like, they know they're going to lose. Yeah.
Quite,
which means
true.
they really should. If they actually did care about stopping reform, which they don't, they should pull out.
Quite so.
Because
quite
only
so.
the Greens
Like,
can... Only the Greens... Literally, only the Greens can beat reform in Manchester.
Well, thank you, Cameron Rees, for £2, asking, was it the Whig Party they were coalition with? Might as well have been.
In a historical sense, yes. Yeah. Yes, don't forget you can give in the form of subs and bits and subscriptions and memberships and all of that shite.
With waiting lists down, including by 2,400 in my constituency, ambulance waits down, and prescription charges frozen, would be put at risk, could be put at risk by Reform UK, as confirmed at the weekend, when the last but one defector, the honourable member for Romford, when asked about a private health insurance system, said, "I don't object to that."
Deputy Prime Minister.
Well, he's right. Waiting lists are down 3,200 in his local area.
Because it's the Deputy Prime Minister, there's a kind of last day of school feel to it. They're not taking it seriously, are they? They're kind of mucking about because they know it doesn't matter. The exams are already over. Why don't you just let them go home? Come on.
It's put on the video.
Exactly.
Roll out the TV tray.
Oh, the TV tray was fucking goated.
And he's right to highlight the progress with our plan to get the NHS back on its feet. Thanks to this Labour government decisions, waiting lists have fallen by over 300,000 since the election. And we delivered 5.2 million extra appointments, slashed ambulance response times, and recruited 3,000 more GPs. Meanwhile, the member for Romford confirmed at the weekend that reform would support privatising the National Health Service. Labour will never let it happen.
You've already opened that door. You've literally got a fucking privately healthcare funded health secretary. What the fuck are you talking about?
The person who's lobbying for more PFIs for the NHS is a member of the House of Lords of the Labour Party.
Yeah.
With our National Health Service.
Mr. Speaker.
Oh no, Northern Irish accent.
Mr. Speaker.
This is going to be horrific. It always is.
This week marks 2 years from the attempted great deception of the former government and the DUP that the Irish Sea border was gone. No checks, no paperwork was the strapline. And yet within the first few months of this new year alone, we've had imposed a veterinary medicine border and we've had a ban on new GB cars being sold in Northern Ireland.
How are they going to do car bombings if there are no cars going there? Come on now.
And now, the EU...
And no!
Incredible, love him.
Love it.
I mean, he's a member of the TUV, so he is a monster. But it is quite his great accent.
Yeah, like genuinely, like imagine the most right-wing thing you can think of, and then put it in a Northern Irish accent.
says that from July, it plans to impose a €3 charge on small parcels coming into Northern Ireland. What sort of government allows a foreign power to impose a tax on parcels coming into its own territory? Deputy Prime Minister.
Well,
Donald Trump.
Well, literally Donald Trump. Also, you could also just become a part of the Republic of Ireland. That would be fine. Wouldn't be a border at all then, would there? You know, just
or could have rejoined the European Union, and then it didn't matter whether or not that you became part of whether 6 counties were reclaimed by their rightful owners.
Also, Jenny again. Salutes.
Well, Mr. Speaker, I looked at this specifically when I was Foreign Secretary. We provided a...
Didn't look at the genocide so much, did you, mate? You decided to ignore that bit. Yeah.
Wide range of guidance and support to businesses. We've not seen evidence of significant disruption to the flow of parcels. However, of course, HMRC stands ready to provide support wherever businesses have difficulties.
Alex Burriscott.
Mr. Speaker, when the Prime Minister recently visited my constituency of...
Oh, you fucking briefcase prick. He hasn't even said anything yet, and I just despise him. You know he's a cunt. Look at him. Look at him!
Cardiff West in Ely to launch the UK child poverty...
He's a fucking MP from Cardiff. How has he not been stabbed to death? What the fuck is this? How has this man travelled to Cardiff and not been beaten to a pulp?
How dare you speak that way of the good people of Cardiff?
No, they're good, but if you get a posh Anglo turns up in Cardiff... I've
come from Westminster.
I'd like you to vote for me. Thank you very much. Honestly, the only reason he hasn't been chinned is because he doesn't fucking have one.
strategy. I took the opportunity to discuss with him that much needed Pride in Place funding that we want in Ely and Kyra. My constituents are telling me they want it in important things such as a youth zone and in recreational sport.
Oh, is it not Cardiff? I thought you said Cardiff.
No, he said Ely and Kyra. He's from Norfolk.
I love Ely. Ely's a beautiful place. The cathedral at Ely is fucking gorgeous. Really lovely building.
Oh no, maybe it's Cardiff. Yes, it is Cardiff. There's a different Ely.
Oh, okay. Well, the Ely in is it Norfolk or Cambridgeshire? I can't remember.
Anyway, it's Suffolk. It's fucking East Anglia.
Yeah, East Anglia, in the east of England. Ely, if you get a chance to go there, a tiny little village, but one of the most glorious cathedrals you'll ever see.
Activities. So will my right honourable friend agree to meet with me to discuss securing this vital funding for my constituents in Ely and Kyra?
Deputy Prime Minister.
Well, of course
I love that thick Welsh accent he has.
His name's Alex Barros Curtis.
Oh, how has he not been run out of that town? What the fuck?
He was born in North Wales.
What the fuck? How do you come out of North Wales sounding like that?
He went to school in Prestanton.
That's
What
ridiculous.
the hell's happened?
He must have had elocution lessons, because I've been to Prestanton and no one sounds like that. Not a single person who's ever come from that town sounded like him.
You went to LSE? I guess they must kind of beat it out of you in
I guess.
posh boy university.
Sure that my honourable friend gets the meeting with the appropriate minister. Look at the difference that Labour is making in Wales. NHS waiting lists have fallen 6 months in
I did see that, yeah. Jacob Rees-Mogg stood for a seat in Dundee when he was young. Imagine him campaigning in Dundee.
Now that's definitely somewhere where you go. If Jacob Rees-Mogg turned up, he wouldn't. Probably worse than Chind. Probably what would happen.
Yeah, like that's what the fuck? Even for the Conservative Party of Dundee, and they saw that prick turn up and they went, yeah, you can be candidate. What? You couldn't find a single Scottish person, or even just a slightly less posh English person. What the fuck, man? Like, Jacob Rees-Mogg should not be allowed to go north of the Watford Gap. Okay, that's as far north as he's allowed to go, I think.
It is funny just how few Scottish Tories it is able to find, right?
True.
Which is why when you find a real Scottish Tory like Andrew Bowie, it's really important to call him to send him abusive WhatsApp messages. no, sorry. So it was a WhatsApp message that he posted where he talked about the tweets people had sent him when he posted his plate of fish and chips, which included the best thing I've ever read, which was Scottish Tory 6-chip twat.
True. Honestly, that should be his epitaph. Really, that should, when people come to write his fucking memorial, it should just be that sentence.
I'm gonna have to find out all of the other things that were yeah. So they included such excellent tweets as "fucking Tory cunt," "fuck off you Tory cunt," "greedy shit," #wanker demented, "Scottish Tory 6-chip twat," "pretentious Tory twat," "more chips on his plate than brain cells in his head," "typical Tory moron," "Tories can't even be trusted with fish and chips," "I hate them," "another lying Tory coward."
#wanker demented. It's very special. Oh, that's glorious.
This the tweet he posts in a compliment to this is, "I regularly get asked as Conservative Vice Chair for Youth." Youth! If social media, quote unquote, might be putting people off get into politics. Last night I posted a picture of my dinner, a plate of fish and chips. These are a selection of responses. And when you call this, he literally had 6 chips. Like it was in the Commons kitchen that'd been stacked up like a Jenga tower, and these 6 chips and little arranged. I'm just like, no, I'm just like, get out, leave.
I think we talked about this before. But my dad we were in London in. Oh fuck's that! What's it called? I can't remember the posh area of London. Richmond. And we went into this fucking boozer, and he ordered steak and chips, and it came out, and he was the steak, and he went, "Oh, excuse me, where are my chips?" And they're underneath the steak, and they were piled up like that as a lattice, and there's like 12 of them, and. You've never seen anger and disgust like an angry working class Irishman looking at 12 chips as if that's acceptable. He was the most angry I've ever been. Honestly, I've never seen him angrier in my life. Amazing. He was less angry when my brother was sent to prison. Like, do you know what I mean? They're mad. Anyway.
Sorry, I'm showing my chat the lattice of chips in question. Oh, it wasn't even a proper lattice. It was 3. It's 3 on top, 3 at the bottom, then 2 on top of that, and then 1 on top. It's like a pyramid of chips.
Yeah. Amazing. Oh, God almighty. Anyway, yeah. So, the Scottish Tories posting their L's as if we care. Genius.
The largest ever devolution settlement, 445 million into Welsh.
Exactly. If you can count how many chips there are not enough chips.
True. But that is the Five Guys. That's the epigram that will start the Five Guys manifesto.
Literally, if you can Rain Man the number of chips, it's not enough. Okay.
New offshore wind projects, AI growth zones, and the UK's small modular reactor in Anglesey. That's the difference a Labour government makes.
Yeah, don't worry. That's it. Don't worry, people of Wales. Doesn't matter that Port Talbot is shutting, people of Wales. We're going to give you AI growth zones. Have you ever considered being a security guard for minimum wage for a American megacorporation's AI data center? I'm sure you haven't, but that'll surely be more important to you than the steel-making craft that you've honed for 30 years.
Yeah, and that good union job will be replaced with a 0 hours contract that we promised to get rid of, but we've hollowed out so much that it basically still exists. Yay!
The Met Office reports that climate change is...
Honestly, the best £4 million that Quadrilla Capital ever spent, because they've saved a fortune.
Wetter winters. Yet the US withdrew from the Paris Climate...
Look at your hairline, mate. Let it go. Let it go. That's awful.
Agreement yesterday, on the same day that much of the West Country
What's funny, right? Pause. So that the MP at the background on the right, that's quite a haircut that he's got going on there. It's interesting he's next to Danny Kruger and also the Liberal Democrats. If you wanted to hazard a guess, Kevin, do you think this guy's a Lib Dem or a Reform MP?
I don't recognise him, but I mean, he looks more Reform. to be
He
honest.
does. He looks a bit like Jordan Bardella, but he is actually a Lib Dem MP.
Oh wow, he's the most fash-coded Lib Dem MP I've ever seen.
He's incredibly posh. He's the MP for Maidenhead. I forgot what his surname is, but his name's Josh. He was actually pretty good in the Business and Trade Select Committee, but which I've watched because, of course, I have.
Well, naturally.
The flood water. My part of Devon is submerged and needs better flood defences. Would the Deputy Prime Minister like to invite his US counterpart on a fishing trip to the southwest?
Deputy Prime Minister.
But this time, get a fucking licence. It was introduced by a government you were a part of, you dopey bastard. Fuck's sake.
Well,
yes, that's right, Americans. We need a licence to go fishing. We're a joke nation.
I'll get a licence if I do, but my sympathies are with these constituents affected by the recent floods. We're investing a record $10.5 billion into flood defences to protect...
Talking about Welshness, Nick Simons looks Welsh. Does that make sense?
He does. I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah, like the fact that I know he's Welsh might be, impacting on that, but like if I saw that guy, I'd go, yeah, he plays second 11s for the local rugby team. Yeah, he's Welsh.
God, I hate the fact that all the worst MPs for the Labour Party somehow seem to be Welsh MPs, right? Who was the one who tried to sue people for asking her questions? Alex Davies-Jones.
Yeah,
she was the same. She was the same one who did the advert for the Betting and Gaming Council in a food.
Literally, yeah. But she's so Welsh. She's so Welsh that even though she has a double-barrel name, it's Davies-Jones. Which is like that's the Welsh national rugby team, but all called Davis and Jones.
890,000 homes. The flood defences are inherited, of course, from the party opposite, which was shameful. But we've committed to net zero and the Paris Agreement. It's good for lowering bills, good for jobs and investment in the UK.
Elsie Blundell.
In my borough, the social housing waiting list...
Excuse me, who let a northerner in? When did they allowed a northerner into Parliament? What?
exceeds 7,000 live applications. Council housing offers my constituents the safety and security that they deserve. What further steps can the government take to speed up the delivery of the social and affordable homes programme and build the high-quality social housing my constituents deserve?
Prime Minister.
The best part, right, is that you can tell in that question it had my constituents in brackets, and she just read it out, not realising she's supposed to replace that phrase with the constituents of my, the constituents of my seat, right?
Yeah. Because it's a Morgan McSweeney question, yeah.
Literally, yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. I insert name here. It's one of those.
Delete as appropriate.
Yeah.
Right, we believe in council housing on this side of the house. We're investing $39 billion to deliver the biggest boost to social and affordable housing in a generation, and that will deliver 300,000 social and affordable homes with at least a 60% rate, and will bring forward legislation to strengthen councils' ability to buy back homes sold under the Right to Buy scheme.
The Scottish press is full of stories about the plot by Scottish Labour MPs to bring down the Prime Minister. One Scottish Labour MP said he's terrible. Another Scottish Labour MP said the handling of the budget had been incompetent. And yet another Scottish...
Wow, a Scottish Tory. Speak
and they've all got that...
Speak of the devil and he shall appear. Yeah.
They've all got that same posh Scot accent as well. God, it's awful, isn't it?
It is bad.
Give me a Glaswegian
predicted that Scottish Labour would be slaughtered in May's election. They're not wrong, are they, Deputy Prime Minister?
Deputy Prime Minister.
The people of Scotland have a big decision later on this year. Certainly not to vote Conservative, to get rid of SNP and vote Labour.
I'm sorry, pigs flying as well on this one? What are you talking about? The Labour Party's going to get fucking annihilated, and rightly so.
And I and my colleagues will be campaigning every single day to bring that about.
Vicky Bolscroft.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. As the UK's first borough sanctuary, Lewisham has a proud history of welcoming people fleeing conflict, persecution and instability. our council works closely with support organisations to help those people integrate and contribute to our community.
Communist.
So how will the Deputy Prime Minister ensure that proposed reforms to the asylum system support rather than undermine the positive outcomes already being achieved in boroughs like mine?
We've got to stop the boats!
I mean, there was literally Natalie Fleet for the MP for Ashfield. Not Ashfield, the one next to Ashfield. That's Ashfield is Lee Anderson. The one next to it.
Don't know.
Talking about the asylum system on LBC's Cross Question. She just sounded like a fucking Reform MP. Literally just did all of the same lies and tropes about asylum seekers and refugees that you've heard everywhere else. She's the one who talks about how she wants to be like a compassionate MP who speak up for women and shit like that. I'm like, well, apparently refugee women, they can go fuck themselves.
Yep. That's basically it.
We should definitely cover it after this.
Yeah.
Deputy Prime Minister.
Well, I'm grateful to my honourable friend for raising this issue. Britain has always been a fair, tolerant and compassionate...
No, it hasn't. Stop fucking lying. Stop doing this American exceptionalism, but British, I guess. British exceptionalism. It's nonsense. Britain has never been that. Britain has accepted some people. It's never been accepting of those people. You are a black man whose, I think, parents or possibly grandparents were immigrants to this nation. You grew up in the 1970s in the UK. You know this to be true.
I mean, literally, he's from descendants of the generation who were so unwelcome, they didn't bother keeping fucking records, which meant some of them got deported within the last decade.
Yeah, to countries that they've basically never been to.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Country.
Like, he literally grew up when the fucking Tory party were, you know, if you want an N-word for a neighbour, vote Labour.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, but we're so accepting.
Hostile
that has offered
environment.
safe haven to those fleeing peril, and this government will always defend those values. We're introducing the largest overhaul of asylum policy in modern times to restore control, contribution and fairness. That includes creating new, capped, safe and legal routes for refugees. Asylum claims are falling across Europe, but in Britain they are rising. So we must make it less attractive for those who are coming here illegally to come to Britain and easier to remove them, and that's what we'll continue to do.
Mr. Speaker, 6 in 10 families say their pay is going backwards, with the lowest earners £73 a week worse off, and middle earners are worse off too. So will the Deputy Prime Minister admit that his government, this government, has broken its promise to improve living standards?
Yeah.
Deputy Prime Minister.
Real wages have risen nearly every single month since we came into office.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Sergeant Matthew Telford, Trooper Robert Pearson and Guardsman James Jimmy Major, aged just 18, 3 heroic servicemen from Great Grimsby and Cleethorpes who made the ultimate sacrifice on their tours of Afghanistan.
For ExxonMobil, or whoever, yeah. BlackRock.
Sometimes it may be good, sometimes it may be shit.
They killed so many brown kids to protect my safety.
Literally.
I didn't realise my freedoms existed in Kunduz. Well, how did they get there exactly?
I want to put on record my condemnation of President Trump's plain wrong comments.
Yeah, but in saying that, Trump was a dickhead for saying that. But, like, also, if you do imperialism and you get murked, whatever. You were kind of asking for it. A little bit.
Yep.
So undermine the commitment of our brave British servicemen and women at home and abroad, which the Deputy Prime Minister has rightly recognised. This government has launched the Valour system to ensure that our veteran support offer on housing, health, welfare and work is fit for purpose, fully backing our forces. That's in stark contrast to the leader of Reform, who happily takes cash to champion the IRA.
Shame.
My local armed forces shouted
up the run, Nigel.
Then again, like, as far as the rest of the benches are concerned, the current government supports the IRA because they're not, like, blocking the carriage of justice for people who are involved in war crimes during the Troubles.
Yep, literally. Yeah. Thank you, James Holmes, for 19 months of membership on the YouTubes. Thank you.
So, if he can set out how urgent action is being taken to house homeless veterans by this government under Valour.
Deputy Prime Minister.
One of the greatest privileges of my life is visiting our servicemen and women who are stationed abroad.
Oh, you're such a lying cunt. Everyone knows that's not true. Like, you do it as part of your job, but you don't. It's not the honour of your life. The fuck are you talking about? Do these wankers think that people believe them?
I mean, I mean, again, like, this is the prevailing thing that I find from the sensible Labour types. Like, the prevailing thing that I always hear from them is that they must think that the people of the country are fucking idiots. I can't believe I have to reference every stream, but it's just so funny. I can't not go back to it, which is the moment where Yvette Cooper talks about the 3 different kinds of flagging bunting that she has in her household.
And a Union Jack tablecloth.
Literally, I'm just like, do you just think that everyone listening is a fucking moron?
Yeah.
Do you think that we all have just kind of had our brains removed overnight? It's like when they started putting the Union Jack on all the membership cards. I'm like, we're a patriotic party now, and I'm just like,
the conference was the worst when they literally was forcing them to wave their little flags. That's never happened before. What the fuck?
Yeah, no one believes you. Again, you'd have to think that the entirety of the public is just totally populated by people with non-functioning brains for anyone to think that you're sincere about this, which clearly you're not.
True. Hello there, Mix Vivian Wolf. Everyone go and follow Mix Vivian Wolf immediately.
We're renewing the contract with our veterans, providing millions to eradicate veteran homelessness and investing £50 million into a nationwide network of support centres. I also want to take this opportunity to pay my respects to Private Jonathan Kitulongoda. He was the first British soldier killed by enemy action in Afghanistan on this day in 2004. He was just 23. The valour and heroism of those who have served our country.
Wow, so for imperialism, a man that should be in his mid-40s enjoying a comfortable life in Britain is in the fucking ground. And yet you keep voting for our military to engage in these illegal fucking wars.
Yeah, there's a really easy way of ensuring that British service people don't die, and that's don't join in with America's imperialism.
Yeah. And don't do anyone else's imperialism. Okay? Or our own. Just have, like, a defensive army. That would be cool. Yeah. That they can help with sandbagging if there's a flood. That kind of thing, you know?
Country to keep us safe must never be forgotten.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. A month ago today, protests
Jenny!
erupted across Iran. In response, the Iranian government launched a deadly crackdown. They fired indiscriminately on protesters.
Oh, did you see the Israeli lie that was exposed about this?
No.
It was amazing. So, in order to try and, like, keep the story rumbling on, because everyone's sort of switched off from that story now, they made up that this woman had been killed in Iran, in the streets, which I don't know why they had to make it up, because, like, they have had people killed. But anyway, It turns out she was actually an Israeli woman who was still alive and has never been to Iran, and literally filmed herself and put it up on TikTok, her reacting to her own obituary on Israeli TV. Which, like, is just meant, like, they did kill people. Why are you making up a person being killed? It doesn't
This
make
happens
sense.
so often, right? It's exactly the same as October the 7th.
Yeah.
Where there's like, where they just made up a bunch of shit about, like, beheading babies and babies in ovens and shit like that. And I'm just like,
titty football.
Yeah, all that kind of. They murdered people and they filmed it on GoPros. Like they just shot up civilians.
Yeah.
They burst open as a kibbutzim and started firing on grannies. Like, you don't need to make up that bad things happened, because they did, and they were filmed and put on the internet by the Al Qassam brigades. You don't need to make up bullshit but they do. They're addicted to it. It's crazy.
Yeah.
and they've shut off internet access to hide what they were doing from the outside world. In April 2024, the then Shadow Home Secretary, now the Foreign Secretary, asked the Conservative government if they would finally proscribe the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps as a terrorist organisation. And just 2 weeks ago, she described the Iranian regime as a consistent threat to the UK's stability, security, freedom.
Okay, but again, when you're now shaking hands with Al-Qaeda because they're the government of Syria, like... You can't have and you've prescribed fucking Palestine action as terrorist, but Al Qaeda aren't. Like, you can't have a moral consistency there. Your position is undermined completely.
Exactly. And the thing as well is that I don't think Iran are a threat to us. I don't think they give a shit about us. Again, with just this real kind of sense of self-importance the UK has, that every foreign power is out to get us specifically. I'm like, they don't even think about us.
No, they do. Why would they give a fuck? Like, if we just left Iran alone, what the fuck do you think they're going to do? Well, they're going to invade Hastings in the morning? No.
You go for Gibraltar.
Exactly. Yeah. Like
somewhere real close to home. I think. Actually, 16 Jacob Creams points out in chat, like the reason why that you hear so many stories about all of the fake things that Hamas did on October the 7th is because all of the bad things that Hamas did, i.e. murdering civilians and then cheering about it, is stuff Israel already does. Like, you can make a moral equivalence between all the real things that happened on October the 7th with what happened in Gaza for all of the years since October the 7th, right? Yeah. But as soon as Hamas become the baby oven people, then it doesn't matter. Any response is reasonable.
Yeah. Invading Hastings, are they going to change the English language again? Love it. A fucking William the Bastard reference. Love it.
And our national interest. The world order that we thought we knew is being shaken up. The US is no longer able to...
Ask a fucking question! The people who love the sound of their own voice. Like, there are other questions to be asked. Ask your questions. Stop telling us about things we already know.
Show moral leadership to governments that kill their own citizens. Can this government step up and take the...
Okay, but how about when Israel kills our citizens?
Or indeed when the Liberal Democrats in coalition helped socially murder our other citizens of this country. I don't think you can really point any fingers, Ms. Austerity.
Lead, and will they now proscribe the IRGC?
Deputy Prime Minister.
Why did they paint some planes? Is that did they do
That's
that?
Real Boko Haram hours. Who up?
True.
Well, I utterly condemn the Iranian regime's brutal repression of peaceful protesters.
They should have just imprisoned them like we do.
It's a long-standing position under successive governments not to comment on whether a specific organisation is being considered for proscription. We have long criticised Iran's authoritarian regime and taken robust action to protect UK interests.
While being absolutely fine with Saudi Arabia's authoritarian regime. Like, again, there's just no consistency.
Yeah, the UAE.
Yeah, the UAE. Well, basically, if you're a dictator, as long as you're pro-Western, if you sell us the oil, you're fine. Whereas if you do anything that America doesn't like, that's bad authoritarianism.
Like, it's the same David Lammy who filmed like a special, like, high resolution video of him in Sudan going, "Oh, liberals don't care about Sudan, they only care about Gaza." I'm like, you're the one who's a member of a government that has trading relationships with the people funding the RSF. You sent fucking Chris Bryan on a trade envoy role to fucking Dubai, right? No, you get to claim moral superiority.
They sent a gay to Dubai. That's iffy.
They did. They literally sent a gay man to Dubai.
Well, at least he came back alive. That's nice.
Well, it is funny, like, everyone kept saying, well, you won't exist as a gay person in Palestine, and then Owen Jones films a whole documentary in the West Bank, like...
Yeah.
Threats, and that includes over 220 sanctions on Iran, placing the entirety of the Iranian state on the enhanced tier of the Foreign Influence Registration Scheme. We're working at pace, of course, to...
But again, not having Israel on any kind of advanced fucking foreign influence scale, even though they literally run our major parties.
Or America. Or America's foreign influence scale. Yeah. Well, because again, like, our interests are framed so heavily towards Israel is because of how much America owns our politicians, right? This is a Western axis problem.
Yep.
And so many, I mean, the fact that none of our major parties can properly stand up to Donald Trump is because the people who own us live in Washington, and our foreign policy is set by the US State Department.
Yep.
To explore what further measures can be taken to respond to these horrific.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, violence is again escalating in northeast Syria, Rojava, with humanitarian crisis unfolding, and the city of Kobani under siege yet.
Oh, so excuse me, someone just lost the whip. What? Who's that? What?
There we
Again,
go.
the Kurdish communities who
Clearly the trot hunting wasn't thorough enough, lads.
fought and helped defeat ISIS now feel abandoned by their Western allies. Will
Because
the
they
Deputy
have been,
Prime
yeah.
Minister commit to working with our allies to hold the Syrian regime to the March 2025 agreement by securing
No, send
protection
fucking the military
for Kurdish
there.
civilians?
Send the military to fucking Rojava. Do it now, right? That's what we did before, but suddenly we're friends with Hayat Tahrir al-Sham al-Qaeda Part 2 Electric Boogaloo, so oh no, we can't do that. When it was secular Assad, by all means, a fucking tyrant and a murderer, at the very least, he had a working relationship with Rojava, which meant that they actually had sovereign borders in their territory. But oh no, Mr. Al-Qaeda, he's so much better now, isn't he? No, send military. Send the military, that just like we did before.
Because again, it's the problem. We've got rats, so we've sent in cats, and now there are too many cats, so we send in lions. And it just gets worse and worse.
For a meaningful, immediate ceasefire, opening humanitarian corridors into Kobani, and supporting constitutional recognition for Kurdish region.
Prime Minister. Well, recent events in Syria have been deeply concerning. This is a significant moment for Syria's future, and we're using every diplomatic lever to urge all parties to stop the violence, protect civilians, and ensure humanitarian support can be accessed. The Foreign Secretary has highlighted the importance of protecting the rights of the Kurdish community to Syria's Foreign Minister this week, and we have consistently advocated for an inclusive political transition. We remain committed to standing with the Syrian people as they seek to build a more stable, free and prosperous future.
Lee Anderson.
Oh, God. The stupidest human being to ever enter that chamber.
Yep.
Literally.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. It was reported on the TV yesterday that the Labour backbenchers are revolting. Now, that is
that's literally the oldest joke that's ever existed. The peasants are revolting. Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's existed forever. Yeah.
Is your fridge running? Better go and catch it.
True. How do you want your haircut? In silence.
It's a matter of opinion.
You don't
but
have a TV licence.
Unlike the Labour backbenchers and the Prime Minister.
You don't have a TV licence, Lee.
Unlike the Labour backbenchers and the Prime Minister.
He doesn't have a TV licence.
Oh no! Is someone interrupting him? Oh no!
Is it Iqbal Mohammed that's interrupting him about his TV license?
I do hope so. That would be very funny. But like, you want to be a government minister, mate? Then you'd have the whole house screaming at you. That's what happens. You can't put up with one bloke going, oh, TV license, TV license.
No, the TV license. What about the time when you faked you were speaking to a constituent when it's one of your mates?
Yeah.
Order.
Honestly,
I that together.
Honestly, like, this whole place is such a fucking schoolboy shit show. Honestly, heckle. It's funny.
Yeah, exactly.
Might as well.
Also, look, imagine the screaming he's let go, but now 30p Lee stood up and he's getting him heckled. Oh, everyone needs to be quiet for Lee. What the fuck do you think this is, a library, you cunt? Get on with your fucking question.
One of us is going to sit down, it's not going to be me.
Okay, to be fair, he did just flex on him. Like, sit the fuck down, bitch. Because that's literally the rule. When the speaker stands, everyone has to sit down.
Person that was speaking out then. If you haven't got the guts to admit to shouting somebody down,
leave the chamber. Lee Anderson.
Yeah, but he wasn't stopping because why is he having a go at someone over here when it's clearly the bloke right behind him going, TV licence?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Unlike the Prime Minister of our country, I've never been thrown out or barred from a pub, and after yesterday's disastrous announcement to save our pubs, there's no wonder it's cleared off to China. But I've got one question for the Deputy Prime Minister. Will he come with me to Ashfield to visit some pubs and speak to some landlords and explain to them why over 500 pubs have closed since this Labour government came into power, and why another 500 pubs will close in the next year? Come on, be a man.
Deputy Prime Minister.
Well, Mr. Speaker, I think I once campaigned with the honourable gentleman who was a member of the Labour Party. And it's been said of him that when he left, he enhanced the IQ of the Labour Party and the IQ of the party that he went to.
Oh, good. That's quite good. That's pretty solid, to be fair. And look at Suella. Look at the smacked fucking arse of her face. Good God.
That's on a good day. That's on a good day.
True.
Where's your TV licence?
I wondered what job the honourable member is pitching for on Reform's shadow cabinet. They've got Nadine Zahawi to advise on tax, the member for Newark to open up the borders. Now they need Liz Truss to crash the economy.
Ian Byrne.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I hope you get well soon. Lydia Jakeman is 19 years of age and has been given a devastating diagnosis.
Oh, look at the hair on that woman. That's amazing. How it's defying gravity. I love it.
It's real Wayne Static Hours. Who up?
Yeah. Wow, that is a reference. A Static Egg reference in fucking 2026. Good Lord, people.
Of motor neurone disease. When she was told she has a very rare form of the disease that can be treated.
For Americans, this person is speaking English. It's a very specific kind of English, but it is.
With a groundbreaking new drug called Tofersen, a family were given hope.
Did he say ground baking? I think he did.
Ground baking.
Okay, fair enough.
They have since discovered that while the drug has been made available to the NHS free of charge, a local trust has declined to deliver it. This afternoon, a family will be arriving at Downing Street, having walked from Southampton to highlight this injustice. Will the Deputy Prime Minister work with me, MPs from across the House, the Department of Health and Social Care Ministers, as well as NHS bosses, to deliver fair access to Tofersen for all living with this rare form of motor neurone disease?
Deputy Prime Minister.
Well, can I say to my honourable friend that I'm sorry to hear about those that are waiting for this treatment, and of course I will ensure that he gets the appropriate meeting with the relevant minister.
James McMurdo.
Whoa, whoa! Why is James McMurdo getting a question?
Well, he is an unfortunately, he is an MP, so whatever. His constituencies deserve to be represented. But the point is, he's a domestic abuser. He shouldn't be in Parliament.
And like, I guess he has constituents to represent, but he's an independent as well.
Yeah.
GR Car is a business in Burnt Mills in my constituency in Basildon, with over half a century of experience in steel manufacturing and fabrication. It is exactly the kind of medium-sized business that builds this country and we should be championing. And following my visit to them last week, I was disturbed to find out that many of our contracts from our flagship deals in Teesside and in our nuclear programmes go offshore, such as the 7,000-tonne order for steel to China and the 200-plus kilometres of fabricated pipework to Germany. This is exactly the kind of investment that should be done in the UK. So how does sending offshore play into their growth plans?
Deputy Prime Minister.
You know what? He shouldn't have got a question. He shouldn't have. That was a waste.
The honourable gentleman will remember that we stepped in to save British steel, and we committed up to...
And people forget this. It's the same as true with Northern Rock and with Chelsea as well. When the government want to, they can just seize private assets. That's the thing. That, like, literally, the Chinese company that owned it was sending people in there to, like, asset strip it. And the British government's literally sent in personnel to stop it, to take over, to physically occupy the building. So they can do it when they want to. Thames Water's right there. You can just walk in there and take it. Yeah.
And Thames Water are literally collapsing.
Yeah, exactly.
They're literally collapsing under their own weight. There is no reason not to with Thames Water, especially like the shares was worth nothing given the high liabilities.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm sure they'd do a we'll sell it to you for £1 kind of deal because it's not even worth £1.
2.5 billion to rebuild the sector, and we'll publish a steel strategy setting out how we're going to achieve.
Honestly, the winds of privatisation just never stop, do they? It's just positive, positive, positive.
That shortly. The British industry supercharger will also bring down energy costs for strategically important UK industries.
Patricia Ferguson.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. At a time when this government is promoting a duty of candour to ensure all public servants, including ministers, should have a legal duty to act with transparency and frankness, and when the Scottish Government has indicated it hopes that legislation will apply there too, does the Deputy Prime Minister support calls for the current First Minister, a former First Minister and a former Health Minister to appear before the inquiry?
To be fair, the current First Minister is also a former First Minister. It's the same person.
Into the deaths of adults and children as a result of contaminated water at the Queen Elizabeth University Hospital in Glasgow. A scandal widely thought to be the worst since devolution began.
Deputy Prime Minister.
Well, my honourable friend is right to raise this serious matter. It's a scandal, one of the worst failures in modern Scottish public life. The SNP government must acknowledge the grave failures at Queen Elizabeth Hospital. When whistleblowers raised serious failings, SNP ministers sided with the Health Board and dismissed families who went through tragic circumstances. That should be condemned as wholly unacceptable, and there's no clear example of why Scotland needs change with Anna Sarwar.
Read my lips. No more austerity.
The UK's nuclear deterrent has kept this country safe for over 5 decades, and as the Deputy Prime Minister knows, operate.
Yeah, has it?
Well, what's it done to keep us safe? Have we been at risk of invasion at any point? No.
Yeah, the French could have arrived at any moment. We were silly letting them build that tunnel. Honestly, they could walk here now.
Actually independent, but
you know,
it's still
when they were first planning to build a tunnel underneath the English Channel to France, right? They stopped because there was a concern that the French would use it to invade. That they would walk an army through what was going to be like a walking tunnel.
Yeah.
Under the English Channel in like the 1800s or whatever. They said, well, we could build it, but we won't do it just in case the French invade us, which was quite funny.
Which, to be fair, probably worked out in our favour in the long run. Because the Nazis might have done. Although, let's be honest, in that situation, you just blow it up.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
Easiest team kill imaginable.
True.
Relies on US defence supply chains. Given the shaking of traditional alliances, could the Deputy Prime Minister reassure the House and the country that the UK has sufficient stockpiles of the component parts of the D5 Triton II missiles that the nuclear submarines have, and ensure that the supply chain remains resilient and is able to cope with any change in the White House, whether positive or negative?
Deputy Prime Minister.
He raises an important issue, and it's why I was pleased to work with the Defence
Jenny was shaking paws with a person. Sorry.
Secretary on the Strategic Defence Review, and that we're investing £270 billion over this Parliament into defence.
Alex Shelby.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I know that the Deputy Prime Minister takes deep interest in Uganda. 2 weeks ago, there was a sham election. People prevented from voting. Government officials stuffed the ballot boxes. Now the military is pursuing Bobi Wine, the leader of the opposition, with deadly intent. I'm gravely concerned about Bobi, opposition activists and British citizens in Uganda. What can we do to safeguard those people and ensure that we don't see violence and bloodshed on the streets of Uganda?
Deputy Prime.
Well, I was very grateful to meet with Bobi Wine and him when I was Shadow Foreign Secretary. We call for peaceful and credible elections. This dispute must be resolved peacefully and legally. Opposition candidates must be able to campaign freely. And of course, we will continue to make representations forcefully.
Bob Blackman, final question.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And I join the Deputy Prime Minister in commemorating Holocaust Memorial Day. But unbelievably, Palestinian Pulse, an organisation, plan a protest outside Parliament today entitled "Confront Power in Parliament, an Anti-Zionist Rally."
Yeah, based.
Yeah. God, imagine having an opposition to a certain ideology. Crazy stuff.
I wonder how he's going to try and tie this into the Holocaust at all.
Now, the Jewish population of our country have had to put up with weekly protests in our towns and cities since the 7th of October.
And many of them have been attended by Jewish people. Is that
Indeed,
do those Jewish people not count? No.
No, they're the wrong type, Kev.
Oh, sorry. Sorry, I thought he was being anti-Semitic for a second. Ooh.
2023. Now we have Jewish businesses and restaurants having protests outside, trying to...
No, specifically, there was one restaurant that was protested outside of because the ownership of that particular restaurant was connected to the Israeli government. No, sorry, the Israeli defence firm.
Yes, specifically.
No,
yeah, exactly.
I still think that's a bad strategy because the people eating at that restaurant probably don't even fucking know that, and they're just being...
All the people working in there.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Like, do you know the ownership exactly of the company you work for, chat?
No.
Probably not, right? Because, like, that's the whole point. Ethical consumerism under capitalism isn't really possible because people hide bad information that they don't want people to know about. So people probably don't even know about it. So I think it's a bad strategy. But the idea that it's a Jewish restaurant, no, it doesn't. It doesn't matter that it's fucking Jewish. It doesn't matter the people who own it are Jewish. It's the fact that they're connected to the Israeli Defense Forces. That's it.
But it's a bad look, and we spoke about this on stream before, and we both agree that they shouldn't be doing it.
Yeah.
But not because it's like metaphysically wrong or anything like that. It's because it's optically bad.
Yeah. But it's not anti-Semitic.
No.
And the fact that he's trying to tie this to the Holocaust is really disgusting. Really, really, really gross.
Close them down.
Yeah.
The chants are anti-Semitic. Yeah. The meaning behind them...
No, they're not.
What chants? Can you give a specific example of the chants you think are anti-Semitic, my friend? I don't think you can.
It's anti-Semitic.
Yeah. Well said, please.
And we see where it leads. The massacre on Bondi Beach. What happened in the United...
No, just, fucking... What's that got to do with people protesting in Britain? That's nonsense.
States, and unbelievably, 2 of our Jewish population being murdered in Manchester.
Yeah. Absolutely nothing to do with those marches. You're a fucking scumbag in the pay of
Those
Zionists.
people-
Fuck you.
I mean, it is worth pointing out. This probably isn't worth pointing out enough. No, go ahead.
Now, Lord MacDonald's review is going to obviously look at this. But the Jewish population of this country do not have 2 years to wait before this hatred is extinguished.
You haven't seen any examples of hatred. What are you talking about?
No. Again,
My
Mr.
sources
Satnav
that
was
I
pointing out, I
made
think I was
it
going
the
to point out, is
fuck
that the
up.
police killed the people at Heaton Park. And I'm like, yeah, well, they killed them because there was an attack happening. Like, there's not really actually an undermining of the idea that people were killed because of anti-Semitic violence, right? Because the person was going to kill them if the police didn't. You know, there was a firefight because there were armed people trying to kill Jewish people. So I don't think it's necessarily a rebuttal to the idea that the Jews are under attack in this country, because they are. It's just the people who did that, both in Heaton Park and in Bondi Beach, were doing it because they were ISIS affiliated, not that they were pro-Palestinian.
So will the Deputy Prime Minister take concrete steps to ensure that anti-Semitism is driven out of our country?
Whilst ignoring anti-Muslim hatred. Please.
I mean, I don't think you don't have to talk about all kind of hatred at the same time, but the Conservative Party actively engages in anti-Muslim hatred, so...
Yeah, the Tory party are literally... It's just rife in the Tory party, yeah. And again, he doesn't mean anti-Semitism, he means anti-Zionism, because he's in the pay of
even said so
a foreign government, yeah.
Deputy Prime Minister.
Well, I'm very grateful to the Honourable Gentleman. He and I have worked cross-party on
the genocide that we're supporting. Yeah, we know.
These issues over many years, particularly as I represent Stamford Hill, one of the historic homes of the Jewish community, and he's quite right. The rising anti-Semitism that we see The nature of some forms of protest is intolerable and unacceptable. That is why the Home Secretary has set out the plans.
Wow, you should speak to the Iranian government about how to deal with those protests.
She has, and I will continue to work with her closely to drive anti-Semitism out of this country.
Yeah. That completes Deputy Prime question.
Absolute fucking clown show as always.
Well, I mean, at least someone asked about Kurdistan, which is nice.
That's something. That's something. Yeah.
Let me find this Natalie Fleet clip. It's really it's quite something.
Okay. But then after that, I am done because, well.
No
oh
worries.
shit! Is it 11 o'clock? Jesus Christ! Okay.
Yeah, we can go for a couple of hours.
Wow, it's amazing how much time you can waste on nothing.
I mean, to be fair, we got a lot of interesting conversations in. It just didn't happen to specifically be about Prime Minister's questions.
I was about to say, yeah, that was sort of Prime Minister's questions was incidental to the good content that was created. Like if we weren't watching it and we just talked about those other things.
Yeah, here's the clip I was looking for.
Okay, so I presume you'll be sending that to me on the
Twitter, yeah.
On the child fucking porn site.
No. It's not that. It's not that. We're not doing that. YouTube and Twitch. Just to clarify.
No,
this is Twitter. We're taking pot shots at Elon Musk.
Yeah, because on Twitter they allow child porn because that's Elon Musk being a child pornographer.
The biggest mass child pornographer in human history.
Literally. Okie dokie. So what's the backstory on this then?
So this is the Labour MP Natalie Fleet, who is being interviewed by Ian Dale from LBC about the government's current policy on housing asylum seekers. Now, again, we've talked on this channel, I think both of us have, about how keeping asylum seekers in hotels because the waiting list has been allowed to balloon because of cuts to the asylum system is a bad thing. And we do need to find a way of being able to sort this out so that communities aren't overburdened with having to deal with extra influxes of refugees. The state is having to pay all this money housing them, and refugees can go out and join the community and integrate and not have to wait around cooking meals on the shower floor. But that's not what she says here, and it's quite an illuminating interview.
Yeah, 1 second. Ooh. Right.
There is nothing racist about people in my community being really, really concerned about immigration. We have got to a system where we've let human traffickers control our asylum policy and who is and isn't here. Wages being undercut as well as the expense to the tax.
So, a couple of points there. First of all, wages don't get undercut by an increase in the population. That's not how the labour market works. They contribute to both supply and demand.
Yep.
If you also have someone working a job, they're creating more products for other people to buy, and they are also being paid a wage which they go and be able to spend on commodities in the marketplace, creating more jobs to create those commodities. So that's not an impact on wages. And second of all, the idea that the human traffickers are controlling our asylum policy, I mean, that is kind of true, but not in the way that she means. Human traffickers control our asylum policy because we give them a giant business model because we won't open safe and legal routes into this country. We won't open safe and managed routes to get here to avoid having to use people smugglers. The human traffickers are given a huge sea of demand because we force people to not find a way to get here unless they're from pre-approved places, which we don't have many of those.
Yeah, exactly. Ukraine and Hong Kong, basically. We've essentially created the entire industry that we're now moaning about. Like, we could cut the legs from underneath that industry by opening safe and legal routes, but we won't, because this is the actual people running the people driving immigration policy are actually just Little Englander racists who people are trying to win the votes of.
Yep.
Taxpayer. Reform, the party that say they will control immigration, have taken Jenrick and Braverman, the architects of the hotel system.
Literally, Jenrick opened the fucking hotels.
I mean, it's true,
there's clips of Nigel Farage calling him, all kinds of names because he opened the fucking hotels, and now he's in that party. And he's being queued up as their potential Chancellor of the Exchequer.
It's true. Well, it's worth pointing out too that whilst they opened the hotels, the policy of having contingency overspill accommodation when you can't find places for other people to go, when you have a massive asylum backlog, that was already the case. Like you have I don't think many people understand that the government has a statutory obligation to provide housing for asylum seekers whilst their claim is being heard. It just so happened that because of austerity, combined with the influx of new irregular migrants coming to seek asylum as a result of Brexit and leaving the Dublin Agreement,
and let's not forget the fact that the Tories wanted to use this as a wedge issue, so purposely fucked it up.
Exactly. Very, very true. It's why they ran on Stop the Boats and not We're Really Good at the Economy at the last election.
Yep.
Is why we're in the situation in the first place where they didn't know where to put all these people. They had a statutory obligation to. So they were forced to contract some hotels, to Tory donors, of course, but nevertheless, so that these people could be housed while the asylum claims are being heard. If we'd had more asylum caseworkers at the start, if we'd not left the Dublin Protocol, we wouldn't have had the massive influx of people, and the influx that had come would have had their cases heard quicker, it wouldn't have built up a backlog, wouldn't have needed the hotels. Like, the issue here, in my mind, is not necessarily housing in hotels, even though I think that that's bad. I think that the issue, of course, is down to austerity and is down to poor economic planning and poor geopolitical planning in terms of our arrangements with other countries about refugees.
Exactly. Well, I'm not. When I mentioned that Generic opened the hotels, it's not that I think that that's necessarily the worst policy ever. It's sort of downstream of a bad policy, which is let's purposely make the immigration system so bad that we can run on, we're going to fix the immigration system that we fucked up. It doesn't make sense, but it's the Tory party, so don't expect it to make sense.
Exactly.
So I don't mention it because of that. I mention it because of the hypocrisy of them running on the, oh my God, migrant hotels, it's terrible, the migrant hotels, and then welcoming in the guy that opened the fucking migrant hotels. It's ridiculous.
And he boasted on it. He put out a fucking public statements on Sky News talking about how he'd contracted extra hotels to house asylum seekers in.
Yeah, it's fucking madness.
Is just ridiculous. Instead, I am pleased that we are taking proper action, adult, sensible action to make sure that
Jesus Christ! Both adult and sensible. God almighty, call yourself one of the sensibles. Go for it.
And the irony, of course, is it's neither of those things.
No.
It's absolutely neither of those things. It's neither adult nor sensible. It is draconian and monstrous.
Yeah.
Are foreign criminals, they are deported. That you can't bring your entire family with you. That we're going to make sure that if you're going to come and settle in this country, it's going to be a privilege, not a right, and you're going to have...
Jesus Christ, she's just reform. Like, there's no...
Yeah, she is just reform.
That's just the sentence that could absolutely have been said by the Reform Party or the BNP or whoever. Like, this is just some far-right shit.
Like, seeking refuge, claiming asylum, that is a right. It is established by the Refugee Convention. It is an important right that we gave to many people, especially those on Holocaust Memorial Day, fleeing from Nazi persecution.
Yeah,
this is a very important thing. That, hence you mentioning Alf Dubs beforehand, one of those people who was on the Kindertransport, who was a refugee from Europe during that era of European history, who came to settle here and became a member of our society. And of all the people to say, oh, well, you can't just bring your whole family here as a refugee. And I'm like, you campaigned as someone who takes violence against women and girls seriously. Do you want to know what violence against women and girls is like in Afghanistan? Do you want to know what it's like in Sudan? Do you want to know what it's like in Iran and Iraq, where these are the 4 biggest countries where we accept asylum seekers from? And you were going to say, well, if you don't want to bring your family with you, well, why don't your family just do the massive journey across from Iran all the way over to the United Kingdom? And she has the gall, the barefaced cheek to talk about wanting to protect women from violence when she won't even accept them as refugees unless they make the journey themselves. Despicable.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's the problem with the kind of white feminism of people like that, is that they only see the violence against people of their own ethnic group or their own country as worth giving a fuck about. Which means they don't actually support women, they support whiteness. Which is pretty gross. And
sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe
nothing from the Kindertransport days, seemingly, because we could have, even though the Kindertransport I think is one of Britain's moral high points, it's also not absolutely pure, because people at the time were saying we need to massively increase the number of people we're bringing over, because the early stages of the Holocaust were taking place. People knew what was going on there. The camps hadn't necessarily been opened in mass numbers yet, but people understood that this was the beginning of a genocide. We could and should have taken more in. We didn't, and those people were killed. Famously, Anne Frank was on a boat that was destined to go to New York, and it was turned back by the American government.
The only country that gave full clemency to people fleeing was the Dominican Republic.
Yeah, literally true. And we've learned nothing from that history, seemingly. We're just going to ignore it. Pretend like it didn't.
There's browns now, so it doesn't matter.
I mean, to be fair, the Slavic Jews of Eastern Europe were considered to be brown at the time, which is one of the reasons that the Daily Mail said that the Jews were flooding into Britain. That's a thing that they said. Never let them forget that.
Have good English and you're going to be able to work and support yourself. If you come here on a boat illegally, we are not going to put you up in a hotel. We are going to put you up in this accommodation, and most importantly, we are going to make sure that you're processed and removed, like the 50,000 people we have already since the general election.
Natalie, your rhetoric on
honestly, what a gross person. Also, I think we've been through this before, but it doesn't matter to the people who you're trying to win the votes of where you house them. They want them to be housed under the fucking sea, basically. They want them all to die or go away. They're racist filth. They're never going to vote for you, first and foremost. And secondly, it doesn't matter whether they're in a hotel, or whether they're in a former army base, or whether they're in some kind of council housing. It doesn't matter. It's the fact that they're brown and that they're here that they have a problem with.
Exactly. They have somehow deluded themselves into believing that all of these people are potential rapists. That's the thing, you see. Protect our children from the refugees. They have specifically they've specifically designated in their own minds that refugee equals criminal, when the reality is the vast majority aren't, but they've been shown scare stories on the media that tries to present this as the case, to essentially try and turn the public against ethnic minorities, and especially vulnerable ones like refugees. It is despicable, absolutely. And her position here is you can't arrive here illegally on a boat. Well, again, if you arrive here via regular means and claim asylum, it's not illegal. You are an asylum seeker and you are legal.
Yep.
And on top of that, saying we should deport you like 50,000 people that we have done. Her position here is deport refugees other than the ones that we say we're going to take from the regular routes. It's despicable.
Well, the Ukraine thing is the ultimate example of why this is obviously racist, right? Because not only did we welcome in the people of Ukraine, and by the way, I'm absolutely fine with that we did that. I think that was a righteous thing to do. But because they were considered white now, which again is a step up in the racial hierarchy for the Slavic people, I think they weren't always considered white, but they've been at least temporarily welcomed into the white people club. And so not only were they welcomed in, but the government would pay you to house them. Imagine, whereas the brown ones, we were going to pay billions to send them to fucking Rwanda. Do you see the problem? Do you see the difference in the way we treat these people based on the perceived ethnicities?
Quite so. It's just what we were saying before when we were watching the Shabana Mahmood meeting. It's just like what we were saying when we were watching that Shabana Mahmood interview on Laura Kuenssberg, where she was like, well, there was this bespoke scheme for Ukrainian refugees that was much better for everybody else. And it was like, yeah, it's just two-tier refugees. And the tiers are you white or are you not?
Yeah, basically. It's literally the Peter Griffin meme of like
good,
yeah, it's that.
This is I don't think I've heard anyone articulate it in another Labour MP articulated in the way you have. David here is saying, when is the beast of Bolsover, by which I assume he means you, defecting to reform?
Burn, bitch. Yes. No, good stuff. Yeah. No, fuck her. 100%.
I get asked that regularly, and I find it really offensive.
By Nigel Farage.
He hasn't actually.
I find it really offensive. Well, I find your views very offensive.
It's so funny to me. It's like, oh, you can't tell me that my views are aligned with other political party. Oh, I'm so offended. You just said that you wanted to fucking disapply the refugee convention. Like, come off it. Like, that's exactly the kind of nonsense that you'll hear from Reform UK about leaving the ECHR, disapplying the refugee convention. Disapplying the refugee convention is in Reform's Project 2029 plan that they've got going, that has been covered by the people, and I'm going to talk on my channel at some point in the future once I've got all of the knowledge in my head. She's literally doing Reform UK's work for them.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I hope this bitch is offended. She deserves to be offended. It's because she's an offensive person. It's merely giving the universe giving back to you what you're putting out there.
Yep.
Simple as that. Anyway, are you carrying on?
Well, my screen's gone down halfway through that, but I was recording a segment, so I didn't want to have to pause and re-record, so I just let the stream die.
Fair enough. Okay. Well, I won't raid into you then because you're not streaming.
No, I was going to cover a couple more things. There was an article in the Spectator about Zach Polanski going to a gay club.
Oh yeah, because he can't dance. He can't dance. He can't dance.
It's true.
That's the real scandal here. Is that Zach Polanski claims to be a gay and yet he can't dance.
So true. So true. Sorry if you're listening on your way to work. To apologise.
No, I'm revoking. I'm revoking your gay card. I'm revoking it until you learn some basic rhythm. Okay. All I'm saying is you looked mighty straight in that video. Just saying.
I was going to read through a Spectator article which was called by a man called Oliver Dean, who who's one of the kind of fellows of Young Voices, this international libertarian fucking propaganda network of bellends. But they used to hire Charles Amos, but they suspiciously removed him from their books after the whole "I support incest" thing.
Yeah, that will get you deplatformed in certain places. Yeah, definitely. Okie doke.
Well, I'm not reading anywhere, so that's up to you.
Yeah, okay. Everyone go and follow No Justice MTG on the various platforms on which they...
well, no one's watching on my end, so cool. No one for me to tell to follow you. Although if you're watching Kevin Logan stream and you're not followed already, what the fuck are you doing?
Well, exactly. If you're a refugee from the No Justice stream, hit the follow button. It's literally free.
Yeah, do it. It's literally.
And even though I'm not,
if it's YouTube,
I'm not as good as No Justice, but I can be
not funnier though.
I can be the No Justice secondary stream. Like if she's not on, if she's on, you watch that because obviously. But if she's not on and you want some UK based nonsense, and you don't mind quite sweary twats, I'm your man. That's all.
I do specifically tell the mods in my Discords to tell my chat, tell the Discord when you're going live, because I'm like, well, if I'm not here, please direct towards the other socialist streamer from the UK who talks about politics from a UK perspective.
Yeah, well, thank you. I appreciate that. And thank you to Nantang Al-Rasul for following. Much love. Yes, who should we raid into? I've gone to My Left Eye on the YouTube, and DJ Mule, fucker, on the Twitches. Okay, should we? Do you want to do question time? Or are you in? You do London on Thursdays, don't you?
Yeah, I do London on Thursdays. I mean, it depends if I might be able to get back in time at 10, but like.
Well, should we move that permanently to a Friday afternoon slot instead? Because I don't want you fucking killing yourself getting back home.
It's fine. Like, if I get back at 11, so if I get back at 10, I get back at basically I catch a train back from London at 8:05.
Yeah.
Which sometimes it's supposed to get into Beeston at 9:45. Meaning that it takes 5 minutes for me to walk back from the train station. I can set up for 10 minutes and I can go straight into question time. It's not a problem. But that is if the train is on time. And of course, this is the United Kingdom.
Yeah, the private time. I think it would be silly to try and timetable based upon the privatised railways of the UK.
Exactly. So I can message you at 9:30 and say I'm happy to do question time if you are. But
yeah, you can do if you wish. Yeah. Actually, that's the thing. Think of me, chat, as the No Justice MTG replacement bus service.
Well, that's the thing. I would much rather do question time on a Thursday and just have Friday off. I would much rather do it that way.
Fair enough.
But of course, again, it never usually works out that way. So we can't have everything that we want.
True. Although we've now gone on so long that the raid ended, so I have to start the raid again. Right. Everyone go and follow No Justice MTG. She's on Navara. She's famous. Famous in that. Literally gets mobbed in the street now. It's unbelievable. Free Palestine, free Venezuela. Anywhere else? Loads of places. Free everywhere, basically. See you later.
Bye-bye.
Like I said before, the way he moves. Yo, Kev.